Okay, it's New Year's now. I'm stopping the music early so that I can just get on with this. Act 6, Act 5, Act 2. Oh boy. Oh boy. Trickster log. Jake. 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 Jane, is that you? Hi, Jake. Wee. Jake, it's me, Jane. Haha. Hey, Jake, you know what? I love you. Isn't that great? Jane, Sorry, Josie. Isn't that great? Jane, what the hell happened to you? I always did love you. I was too afraid to say so. But now I'm not. Yippee! What, really? Oh, yes. I was so sad before, but now I'm happy. Wahoo! You love me too, right, Jake? Hey, Jake, let's kiss. Jane, Cool. Let's kiss a whole lot and get married, then let's have babies. You want to have babies with me, don't you, Jake? Jane, you're frightening me. What? There's no need to be scared, you silly goose, because I am happy and in love. Ooh, image. And in love with you, can't you see? No, Jane, you're seriously scaring the shit out of me. You seem unwell. Are you sure you're alright? Am I alright? Jake, I'm more than alright. I feel so great. I feel so alive. I feel so... peachy. No. Hunky dory. Let's see that again. No. Yes. Oh. Engage trickster mode. Wee! Yay! Jane, hey Jane. Yes, Jake? Jane, take my hand and fly away with me. Okay, Jake, where are we going? Why, off to adventure, of course. Of course! Oh, Jane. Yes, Jake? I was thinking about what you said, about how you love me and want to marry me. Yes, what about that? Let's do it. Let's do romance with each other. You really want to? Yes. The kind where we kiss and such? Indubitably. If I had my Hooters, we'd get hitched right here and now. Oh yes, I would absolutely love it if we could got married and kissed a whole lot. I also believe you mentioned something about babies? Yes, babies. I think you're right. We should have so many babies together, Jane. How many babies, Jake? I don't know, maybe a zillion? Yeah! It'll involve having sexual relations together. I should hope so. We should commence such activities post-haste, but not before our adventure. Are you coming, Mr. Aerosol? Oh, fuck no. Oh, yes, you are. Hop in, buddy. Fuck you. Fuck my life. Fuck literally everything. Fuck. 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 Ha 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 ha. Roxy! 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 Come out, wherever you are. We have candy. Do you like candy? Don't be silly. Of course she likes candy. Hoo-hoo, you're right. Everyone loves candy. Roxy, what's the matter? Don't be shy. There's no reason to be shy. Look how happy we are. Oh yes, it's so true. It turns out we solved all our personal problems forever, and now we're in love. We're going to be married and have many children. Yes, would you like to come to our wedding? You can be the bridesmaid. Yeah, or heck, maybe even just another bride. But Jake, there's supposed to be only one bride, and that'll be me. That's true, Jane, but what if we could make Roxy happy to marry... But what if it would make Roxy happy to marry me as well? Why, you're right. Shucks, I didn't think about that. You're so sweet and thoughtful, Jake. Thanks, Jane. I was thinking about what you said about how I'm too self-centered, so I thought I'd try being a better person. There's plenty of me for everyone to marry. You're darn tootin', Jake. Now that I think about it, it would be so much fun to let Roxy be the co-bride. Indeed, and for all we know, Roxy may want to have babies with me as well. Oh wow, this is all image. Haha, yeah. But only as long as I get to have some babies first. I called dibs, remember? Absolutely. Positively, my darling Jane. Oh dear God. Jane, I think Roxy's playing hide and seek with us. Jake, I think you're right. Oh boy, this should be a blast. You there, the man in the tall rumpled hat. Have you seen our friend Roxy? What's the matter, little fella? Cat got your tongue? Yoo-hoo! Roll out! Ollie ollie oxen free. Wherever has my BFC gone to? Shit, 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 shit. Jake, I think I know what the trouble might be. What's that, Jane? Roxy's still embarrassed about that one time she couldn't kiss me. She is? Roxy, did you hear me? You think I didn't know about that, but I actually did know about it. Dirk told me once. It was a secret. But it's perfectly fine. There's no need to be unhappy at all. I'll let you kiss me right now to make up for it. That way you can overcome your personal problems and everything will be wonderful. Oh yes, let's all overcome our personal problems and grow together as better human beings. How does that sound, Roxy? Doesn't that sound great? Come here and give me a big happy smooch. Oh my God, I can't wait for this to happen. Matterwitch, please help. My friends are completely insane. Can you just throw me back in jail? Girl, you made your cocoon. Deal with it. She's around here somewhere, Jane. I can feel it. Marco Polo. Marco Polo. You stupid shits. That's not how the game works. There's a little cow on his shirt instead of a big cow. Marco Polo. I'm so boned. Oh no, Roxy's dancing outside of the canvas area. Help Jake tug her back onto the stage. Engage trickster mode. Stern fatherly disapproval. Jake, thanks for bumping me with that pumpkin. I was being such a square. My pleasure, Roxy. This is so much better, lol. I'm max overjoyed about stuff. Hip hip hooray! Jane, you're right. Kissing you would be super cathartic and make up for all my past mistakes and feeling bad about myself. Overcoming personal problems rules. Yeah. Roxy and Jane, this is so capital that we are together like this and happy. I agree so much, Jake. But the fun hardly seems complete without Dirk. Oh golly, you're right. Let's go see him straight away. Oh hey, hold up, you gals. Before we go see Dirk or get triple married, plus babies or whatever, I want to make a pit stop. A pit stop, Roxy? Yeah, we gotta get Feta in on this shit. Nobody ever considers poor dear sweet Feta. Oh ho, you're spot on, Roxy. Let's go get Feta and make this party that much sweeter. Damn straight. Hey, who wants to get wasted? Ooh, me. I do. Whee! I love booze. What was I even thinking giving it up? Sevens. We all make mistakes, Roxy. Yes, the important thing is that we learn from them and solve our personal problems by facing them head on. Well, yeah! Can you please just leave me here to die? Not a chance, wise guy. You're the life of the party. This is it. This is my punishment for doing evil, terrible things when I used to be two living people. I guess I deserve this, and yet nobody deserves this. Nobody. So, hey there, unholy of Nepeta and Pfeffery. How have you been? That was a dumb question, I'm sorry. This is pretty awkward, isn't it? What was that? Fuck, I can't hear a goddamn thing with these flippin' idiots doing their candy giggle rampage. I can barely even hear my own words over this shrill din of hideous plink. Don't ask me why I think it sounds pink. It just does, okay? Yeah. Basically, part of the game they're playing involves this thing called a kernel sprite. And when you shove something into the kernel sprite turns into a ghost-like entity based on that thing. Each of these guys had two corpses shoved into it rather than, regular objects. And so, this one used to be like a princess, and also, I think you'd like the characters that this one used to be. And this one used to be a douchebag and also a guy with depression. Yeah. Anyway, I guess I've been wanting to say part of me is sorry for killing part of you. I mean that, not as a part of me that used to be your mate's fruit, because obviously that part wasn't responsible for that. That's scurrilous shit. But the part of me that used to be Morales was part of you. and wherein Nepeta is just kind of a weirdly unrelated bystander in this whole mess. So I guess the whole me is sorry to Nepeta for having to put up with this shady love triangle fallout. This is absolutely the shittiest apology situation I can ever even fucking fathom. Can't even get some legitimate feelings of remorse off my chest, as the chest has contradictory feelings to people, and the recipient is the amalgamation of the wronged party and someone who could not give a bloody shitting fuck about any of this. Never mind, this reconciliation has been an absolute disaster. Can we at least come to terms on a sound policy of fuck Gamzee? Because all I'm saying is basically just fuck that guy. Dirk! 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 Dirk, 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 Dirk. Son of a fuck. Notice anything different about us, Dirk? I think so. Did you decide to forfeit anything resembling dignity for the rest of your lives along with the hope of accomplishing anything constructive ever again? No, you silly goof. The difference is that we solved all our personal problems. Roxy, are you drunk? I mean, in addition to being high on something and magically insane? The only thing I'm drunk on is good feelings due to hasten all my problems instead of run away. Plus also maybe a little alcohol. But that's it. Solved all your problems. Yeah, you guys look like you're in great shape. It's so true. You should try it. Try what? Solving your fro-fros. That's what I call problems now. Fuck off, my problems are fine. Watch, I'll go first. Dirk, did you know I got this huge fucking crush on you? Yes. Oh my god, it's so good to get that off my chest. We should get married, Dirk. You want to marry me? No? But we're all getting married. Everyone is doing... Is Jane, Jake, me, all getting fucking betrothed up in here? Not to mention some babs in the works, implying that sex happens. Roxy, even if flirting out random-ass confessions in any way constituted solving personal problems, it's not like that was ever a secret. I always knew you liked me. You told me practically every fucking day. Okay, yes, that's true enough, but I never had let's get married and have some babies, did I? No, you've actually suggested that too a number of times. Oh, I did? Well, this time I got a wedding ring. Come here, Stride. Put this fucker on. No. Come on, Dirk. Just put it on. You'd be helping me solve a personal problem. Stop it. Yours too. Don't you want your dumb profos to get the fuck out? This won't solve any problems. You're all fucking morons. Dirk, don't you see we're happy now by challenging interpersonal issues forever? You're not happy, you're demented, and how exactly does it solve any of your problems getting all handied up to go flushing however many months of sobriety down the toilet? Because, do not change the subject, Strider. You gotta kiss me while so is dead. That wasn't fair. Help me rectify this problem of mine wherein I have no recollection of our sweet snog. No way. Dirk, ring now. Ring makeouts. Get away from me. I have a sword. Screw your anime sword. Marry me and have my bovies. I'll use it, I swear. It's sharp and it's awesome and it's a sword. Shut your mouth and make beautiful love to your future wife. I'm too fucking cool for this. Mr. Bro, listen to my advice. I think you should just go for it. This is coming not only from your mystical guide, but also from an alternate version of your... not only from an alternate version of yourself, but from a dude with a fucking spectacular body. We both know you're never going to be happy under ordinary circumstances. You just do not have the right kind of think fan to sustain that emotion. Look at me. I needed to emerge a sweaty guy who loves horses in order to be happy. Gosh damned horses, Dirk. I think about them all the time while I flex and it makes me smile. It seems that similarly extreme measures will be needed for you as well. Oh, whatever. You there, small servant with the umbrella. Fetch me a towel at once. This is part of a stream series in which I decided that every night of December I would do a stream in which I read Homestuck, because I hadn't read Homestuck before and I felt like doing it. And so that's why I'm doing this tonight instead of something else. I don't know. Also, yeah, Happy New Year's. Ugh. That hurt my hand. Glad it wasn't my left hand. No or fuck no. The options are yes. Ah. Yay, whoopee! Come on, Dirk, dance for us. Oh yes, Dirk, please do a dance. No. Dirk, don't be a prude. Stop being such a silly tight ass and cut that rug. Yeah, Dirk, do the robot. No. Yeah, Dirk, let's see you Pope and lock. No. Dirk, do the mashed potato. No, I want to see some cabbage patches. Do a cabbage patch, Dirk. Absolutely not. Dude, this is heavily ridiculous. Your brain is so impenetrable, not even this asshole candy magic can lighten you up. I'm so amused by this. Shut up. No, Dirk, he's right. Just give in to feeling good and dropping probs. I'm afraid he can't at Hyper Sugar Roxy. His mind is as dense as my muscles are strong. By the way, would you like to feel my muscles, Roxy? Oh, yes, Fox. God damn it, why did I listen to you? Nothing's changed. You may have merged with a sweaty horse guy, but you still sabotage me in every way you get. What's worse is you still actually believe you're helping. What a crock of shit. Don't be mean to him, Dirk. Your muscles it is it's fun and cool. You should feel his muscles, Dirk. Wow, he's so ripped. Lay swoon. You heard the one, Dirk. Quit stalling and trot over here and touch my darned muscles. For the last time, I'm not touching your stupid muscles. And Roxy, just to let you know, if you hook up with my douche of a sprite, I'm gonna be hella pissed. Jack, these muscles are hard as heck. Jane, you know this action? Yes, I surely do. Ooh, these are really wonderful muscles. Jake, you simply must feel this muscles. Boy, howdy. Dink, your doppel it is freaking cut. He's truly a man's man. Dirk, it seems my muscles are a hit. Are you absolutely sure you won't feast your hands on this grade A beef? Please, someone make it stop. Hey, I know. If Dirk wants to keep being a drag, and maybe Shades McMusclesprite wants a quadruple marry us instead. There's an idea. Well, hey, ladies, let us not be hasty and excluding Dirk from our happy marital plans. Dirk, I've been wanting to say that before I solved all my problems. I was feeling so bad about things with you, but now I'm happy I have the answer on how to make everyone happy. You, me, Roxy, and of course Jane, who was in love with me just like you. So I found out the best way to resolve romantic conflict is for everybody to marry each other. That way you should... Hey, pal, want to... What do you say, pal? Want to get married to me? Jake, I'm not marrying shit. And frankly, you've got some nerve floating down here babbling about marriage with that shit-eating grin and that dumb little pumpkin on your head. After the way you ditched me and ignored all my messages, you know what? If you didn't like me anymore and wanted to stop hanging out, then fine. I could handle that. But you just completely shut me out like I didn't even deserve an explanation. That's just cowardly. Why couldn't you man up and talk to me? You act like I don't have feelings, like I'm some kind of robot. Well, you're wrong, I do. And I'm using those feelings by starting to feel like you're actually kind of an asshole. So whatever you were afraid to tell me for your fucking sugar high, don't worry about it. I'll save you the trouble. It's over, Jake. Excuse me, you there. Unsavory concoction of royalty and peasantry. Come grow my humongous biceps. No bloody way. Yes, do it! Aqueous, why are you acting like such a bulge-sniffing toolbox? What the hell happened to you? And why the hell are you wearing that guy's lame glasses? Take those off. Even you had more style than that. Alright, no takers there, see? No takers there, I see. Only a pair of grotesque Philistines blustering through the same coarse ignorance tunnel. What about you, Miss Unpalatable combination of effery and... Oh no. What? Dirk, help, I'm having a problem. What? A part of me is having a very strong emotional reaction which I don't like. It's a part of myself I'm ashamed of. What part? The troll part. It did something shameful once. I do not find such emotions to be an acceptable feature of my new existence. How can I make this feeling go away? Dirk, I command you to instruct me how to eliminate these emotions. Can't help you, bro. This is what you asked for. You said you were scared to not exist. Well, this is what it's like to keep on existing. Better figure out how to deal. No, that's awful. I don't want to... I don't know what to do. With all my astounding strength, both circular and cerebral. Now how can I be stymied so? Dying was better than having to live with the shame which was ironically caused by the very death in question. Equus, what the fuck are you talking about? You sea-dwelling mustard blood. Half of me demands the peasant half of you to resolve my emotional turmoil while humbly requesting the noble half of you to do the same. The other half of me doesn't give a flying hoot about your lame ass bullshit and is just kind of freaking out internally about this. Wow, Zach, you might actually be more of a mess than me. I'm fucking impressed. But yeah, I'm taking it. But yeah, talking it out when you got aims, a reconciliation helps. When you got aims, a recreation helps. Me and the Pfeffery side of this abomination had a nice talk earlier, sorta. Say, what you gotta say. Just don't mess with the Pfeffery parts too much, okay, man? She's very dear to me. I mean, both parts of me, got it? You're right, I must speak to her. Nevada, I swore that I would protect you, but I failed. In a moment of weakness, my reverence for a superior got the better of me, and instead of standing up for you, I decided to blow a stupid fucking I decided to bow before a stupid fucking juggalo or something. What? Wait, I actually did that? What the fresh knickering hell is wrong with me? I'm not a perfect man, Nepeta, nor am I perfect, as you might say. What the fudge, a cat pun? Let's pull our shit together, dude. This emotional state is mad abysmal. But in any case, I hope you can find it within your kind olive pump biscuit to forgive. No! Gosh dang it, I don't deserve to be forgiven. What am I saying? The shit I pulled on you was so bad, I just can't even. Hey, can you maybe wrap up this apology, you wretched freak? Wow, you're actually making me look like the model of a mental health. Anyway, you're confusing the Pfeffery side of her with your weird emotional baggage. Allow me to finish her/peon. Pfeffery, try not to listen to anything he says. You've had enough heartache to endure without him lumping in Nepetta's twisted relationship with his horse-kissing muscle fuck. Nepeta, you will disregard any conversation directed at Pfeffery and focus solely on my attempted statements of contrition. Man, what right do you have to order Nepeta to do anything, let alone listen to your conflicted whining? Pfeff, can you believe this guy? Do not address Pfeffery while I'm talking to Nepeta. It's confusing to Nepeta, who is critical in absolving me of guilt, even though I probably don't deserve it. Fuck your absolution. I take back my advice. Stop talking to Nepeta and leave Pfeffery alone. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. I'm not doing your dumbass yes-no shit. Then leave us, for I and my Morel have much to discuss. No, you flippin' don't. This conversation is over. Yes, I do. No, you don't. Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. No, this has to stop. Can't you see we're tearing Fafetta apart? Dear sweet, precious Fafetta Splode. Honk. Oh boy! The tricksters alchemize. You round up an assortment of ordinary... That's an ablator. You round up an assortment of ordinary household weaponry and begin to recreate a series of legendary weapons from the 7 continents of a magical kingdom from Arabim folklore. The name of the kingdom is a well-guarded secret, traded only by the cunning mini wizards in hushed giggles. If you beheld this kingdom, if you even knew its name, you would understand stupidity no human ever has, for it is said that any mortal who listens to its melodious, perfectly absurd syllables will achieve instantaneous dumblightment. Each legendary weapon is named after the continent it was created in, but no one in the kingdom knows which name belongs to what continent, not even the wizards. The subjects frequently ask each other which continent they're on, and as such, every conversation tends to sound like an Abbott and Costello routine. Some have even speculated that the vaudeville and comedy duo are the kingdom's mirthful messiahs, but that is a matter of heated debate among the Federation of Baloney Scholars. There she is, forged in the fire by the smiths of Hippomop, commissioned by the sage lord of the lozenge fiefdom in the realm of the snargly Rosmig Bovins. You made the Warhammer of Ziliu. Plucked from the revered utensil drawer of none other than the chieftain of the Rifle-toot clan himself, polished to a gleam in his loincloth by his devoted ABC-darian Buttersquire, behold the battle spork of Zilliwat. Each was handcrafted by the senior-most artillery hermit of the hallowed under-moist caves, to be mounted in times of peace upon the royal Burble monk's personal placard of Dwib. Lo, the flintlocks of Zilly Howe. Swashed from the buckles of the rough and tumble belly japes, and offered atop the kingdom's last known wildly occurring fluffy dimple pillow, to the resplendent first rumby lumpful whiffig of the horse of administration. I give you the cutlass of Zilly Ware. Cast from the most priceless squiffy clink ores, mined from the famous whooping volcanoes, owned and curated by the distinguished Maximilian Hot Pocket Pucker Shuttle Jr., and then packed to the brim with the hilarious traveling grief miser's explosive winkle pork snuff. Ta-da! The blunderbuss of Zilly Y. A really hard sword for a really hard dude. It was said to be forged by a Japanese master over the heat of a roaring manga fire. It was cooled in an enchanted spring where virgin horses bathe, and yeah, this is still just a Dirk's sword. Flippity dippity doo bup up shrubber double floppy mumble scurry noodle scoop pizza bubble mip mip. Check it out, the thistles of Zilly Witch. For good measure, you decide to make Zilly Wave and Sahu, just to be on the safe side. Someday you'll look back on this decision and say, thank God I did that. What next? Are you sure that's a really good idea? A fancy Santa is already such a piece of shit. Maybe let's try not to get carried away, making shitty things even shittier than they need to be. You make a Zilly Santa. Yes, that's fine, as long as you only make one. Oh fuck, you make a bunch of Zilly Santas. Okay, kids, I think it's time we move this along, don't you? Hello? Fucking teens. God damn it, we're just gonna zoom in forever on that Santa nose, aren't we? Okay, we're done here. You return to the safety of Act 5, Act 1. You finally slip out of the fabled peach birth trance of jokeful looks and cease quaking in the food sandwich throes of the goof jester tongues, stubborn though they were. Let us never speak of Act 6, Act 5, Act 2 again. What the fuck? What the fuck? Just what? What? No. Please don't type in the narrative prompt. You can't fucking do that. Do what? Go backwards. This isn't backwards, stupid, it's forward. After all, the trickster shit happened. No, I mean backwards by an act. Or I guess, an act? I hate the things I'm forced to say and acknowledge as real because of you. I can go back all the acts I want. The acts are kind of meaningless anyway. Besides, trickster mode was getting obnoxious. No, it wasn't. Yes, it was. No. Yes. No. Let's not do the aqueous yes-no thing. It was great. It was the best thing I ever unlocked from your bullshit monitors. Don't erase the only awesome thing I ever saw these assholes do aside from dying. What are you talking about? I didn't erase it. It was still a thing that happened. Do you really think I have the power to make something unhappen? I would have to be a wizard to do that, and as we both know perfectly well, magic is fake as shit. I want to see more candy acts, you awful you awful fuck. Send me back forward to the next act. No way, and incidentally, I didn't authorize you to send that lollipop. Oh, what, you don't approve of my juju? Approve of kids doing something kinda like drugs and making dumb plans to get quadruple married and have babies? No, I don't approve of that. Besides, that's no way to make progress. You don't just give the heroes some cheap game-breaking candy to let them blast through the whole adventure and all their personal issues. That's some Deus Ex Machina shit you were trying to pull. Yeah, right. More like Delicious Ex Machina. Lame. Go back. No. I mean back forward. No. Go back forward to act, whatever. No. I want to see them finish their candy romp. Nope. Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. You piece of shit. Fuck you. Oh no, not this again. Stop making the thing go backwards. Why did Gamzee have to give you that crowbar? Ugh. I should have killed him a long time ago. Fucking clowns, though. This atrocious garbage you're making me watch is never ending enough. Without making me go backwards through acts, you are literally the most incompetent asshole at doing this. Whatever this is. Whoever fucking lived, put the crowbar down. No. Good grief, poor Jane. Stop horsing around. And tell me how to get on with my god-awful quest already. Okay, fine. The spoiled baby gets his bottle yet again. Just put the thing down. Fine, now what? Caliborn, first let me explain something to you. I guess it falls on me to teach you these life lessons, because as unpleasant as the idea is for both of us, I'm the closest thing you will ever have to a father. You see, teenagers are sensitive and beautiful creatures. Well, not you, you're repulsive, but most teenagers, I mean. You can't just force them to settle all their issues with insane psychotropic game power-ups. They have to face all those issues themselves, or they will never learn and grow as people. Who cares? Well, you don't, but human beings do. The journey itself is more important than the destination. The struggle is what builds character and teaches us about ourselves and about life. Bullshit. I did them all a favor by giving them my juju. They were going nowhere, and being stupid except for wallowing in grotesque emotions. And doing literally nothing whatsoever except for being stupid and except for wallowing in grotesque emotions. Look how much great stuff they got done because of me. Of course you think you were doing them a favor. You're an alien. So's your sister. She thought the juju would be a great boon for them as well, but she was wrong. See, you cherubs are predisposed to love all this trickster crap. All this goofy, squeaky, candy-coated nonsense is a critical part of your people's mythos. The sugarized zilly junk sort of embodies a unified field of absurd platonic ideals to the cherubim. So when you see expressions of it in reality, of course you're gonna go apeshit, but that kind of stuff is freakish and disturbing to humans. Those aren't our ideals. What? Furthermore, that could only be seen as a boon from an asocial species. You never have to deal with other people, so if you like a magic lollipop that flips a switch in your brain that says all my problems are solved, I guess maybe that's fine for cherubs, but if you're a human and you haven't actually solved anything, by the same logic, it's not much of a boon to a human's physical journey either. Using an item that lets them start maniacally powering from point A to point B isn't doing them any favors. I have no idea what you're talking about. It's like when Mario gets the star. You know when Mario gets the star? Who the fuck is Mario? He's a small Italian plumber who goes on sideways adventures. He jumps on stuff and hops bricks with his head to save a princess. What's Italian? What's a plumber? Never mind what an Italian is, it's just the kind of guy on Earth. And a plumber is a guy who fixes load gapers. What's a load gaper? Shut up. Anyway, sometimes when Mario's running sideways, he gets a star that makes him magic and invincible. Oh, you mean he becomes Trickster Mario? Yes, but less stupid. So for a while he becomes flashy and hyperactive and nothing's challenging anymore. He just starts barreling over mushrooms and leaping over pits as fast as he can, then gets to the end and jumps on the flagpole, and that's it, Mario wins. But the point is, he didn't actually win. That magic star was actually devastating to his development as a human being. Why? Because he skipped over many critical trials on his spiritual journey. Mario needs to stomp all those mushrooms. He needs to bonk those bricks with his head for the sake of his personal growth. By using the star, he's denying himself many powerful moments of catharsis. Well, I don't know. Maybe Mario isn't the best example. Like, I'm not sure if Mario even has a soul. He's just kind of a one-dimensional friendly cartoon plumber. So maybe this stuff doesn't quite apply to him. But these aren't one-dimensional plumbers we're talking about here. These are teens. And as we all know, teens have big feelings. I can't take any more of this. The discourse with you has been more grating and unpalatable than usual. You said you'd help me speed up my quest, but all you did was trick me into hearing another conversation, in which you indulge yourself to an extent which I cannot even believe. I'm gonna hit things with my crowbar again. No, don't! Jane is still nursing a wicked hangover, you ass. That'd be useful to me. I think I've been forced to unlock these screens and view these pointless events long enough. My quest is dumb, I just want to know how to get on with the real adventure. Has it occurred to you that your quest is in its limitless tedium and thankless busy work was designed to facilitate your personal growth, to prepare you for your ultimate destiny beyond this game? No? Anyway, didn't you say one time I was incapable of growing? Alright, well, has it occurred to you that it might have been designed to fuck with your head and serve as punishment for being such a horrible little shit? Yes! Yes, that occurs to me every second I think about it. I've tolerated many aggravations, I'm prepared to tolerate many more. If it gets closer to triumphing over this moronic game, I'll find some more keys under some random-ass unlabeled stones. I'll watch another 1,000,000 hours of numbskulls whimpering about their romance and not coming true. I'll even endure more of these patently ludicrous acts, even though they appear to mean nothing at all. But what I will not stand for is going fucking backwards. Fair enough, but I already told you how to accelerate your viewing. What? When? See those two planes of glass there? Take your crowbar and smash them. Oh yeah, I forgot. Is that really the only way to go to what's next? So that I can put my plans into motion? Yes. You should be pleased by the irony. Smashing the glass will cause you to reflect upon a lifetime you've yet to spend, breaking stuff. Is the irony not fucking delicious? No, stop trying to bogart my shtick of playing insidious mind games and doing shitty twists. You suck at it so bad. I'm sorry. It's not breaking the glass I mind, it's the thing that involves teamwork. Right? Yes. You and a buddy have to turn both keys simultaneously. It'll teach you a wonderful life lesson about life. Fuck. Don't act like you aren't secretly having a great time there with your new friends. You're practically the ringmaster of your own little dark carnival by now. And you're loving every minute of it. Don't deny it. No, I'm not! Sooner or later, you'll have to face the fact that literally all adventures are about learning the value of teamwork. Teamwork and friendship, the two razor-sharp edges of the mighty Excalibur which every hero should keep in his scabbard. Even shitty heroes like you. Fine, I'll do it. but only because the alternative, where I talk to you for even one more second, would be so much worse. The narrative prompt has been locked. Caliborn breaks glass. I'm gonna grab another soda. Yeah, I'm just gonna grab another soda. I don't need to switch to the be right back screen, even though I will be right back. I think I got carpal tunnel from that fucking Dirk minigame. At least it wasn't my right hand, and at least I'm left-handed. Caliborn and Gamsium Gauge. Oh? Jane, what? What happened to the lollipop? I dropped it. I think it fell into the crypt. Good. Roxy? What? I take it by that disgruntled series of letters that you're feeling just about as cruddy as me and Jane right now. Yeah, Jake, welcome to Hungover City. Population, some extra chumps besides me for a change. Well, you know what they say about misery and how it supposedly enjoys company. No, it doesn't. It enjoys a wet towel draped over its head and less talking. You. Point well taken. Oh my god, stop being so chipper, dude. Do you feel like shit or not? Indubitably, rest assured, it feels like a brood of anxious vermin is making its most valiant effort to escape from my skull. Well, Janko, English with a hangover, everyone. Slow clap. Pardon? I'm just saying, if you're hungover for the first time, please do this experience some justice. You're giving suffering a bad name. I will say, the multicolored lights from my computer strobing directly into my eyeballs aren't helping the matter one freaking bit. SMH. Not literally, 'cause ow. Jake, here's some sage advice from a veteran of substance abuse and its deleterious consequences. Don't use your fucking skull top when you got a hangover, you dork. Well, I wouldn't, but I just gave Jane my only other device. I don't know how many times I told her to keep more than one computer on her no matter what, in case of situations like this. Oh. Why does she want a computer? Is that who Dirk's talking to now? I don't know, maybe. She's not exactly talking to me at this moment. Not that I can blame her. So, best birthday ever, or best fucking birthday ever? Huh, in the interest of appeasing the irony gods, let's go with the latter. Whatever role I played in ruining your party, sorry about that. Oh lord, the last thing I give a shit about is my stupid Sweet 16. What a farce, I was trying to act as if we were all living normal, well-adjusted lives, albeit in a marvelous fantasy setting populated by skeletons, and if only we just had some cake. and wore some hats, and I blew out all the candles in one big puff. We could pretend all the problems we had. To answer your question, Josie, the plot of Homestuck is that 4 friends play a game called Spurb that takes them to another universe where they can avoid the apocalypse, and then, but because of some aspects of the game are determined by their own personal decisions, the original 4 players of the game wound up accidentally making an unbeatable boss, and then had to reset their universe, which is how these 4 people came about. And that's Homestuck. We could pretend all the problems we had with each other would magically stop existing. And the most horrifying thing of all is I actually got my wish. Thanks, Clappy. Oh well, I'm sure she had good intentions. I don't ever intend to read or see Ready Player One, so I don't fucking know. Yeah, I still think I've been pretty lousy to you. I had my head up my ass for a while there. By the time your birthday came around, I was kind of freaking out about Jake. I thought I had the situation under control, but I didn't. Not just with Jake, but with respect to pretty much everything. I understand. Boy, you really let him have it back there. I guess so. I had a similar meltdown with him earlier. I'm not gonna lie, it felt really good. At least it did at the time. I only wish I could have stayed as lucid as you during our transformation? How did you manage that? It wasn't on purpose. Actually, if I had a choice, I probably would have just said, fuck it. Sugar shock my brain, please. Suffice to say, I have trouble escaping from myself. It's kind of a problem. Let's not talk about it, though. Please continue. Okay, so instead of keeping my cool like you, I just started gushing over him like a love-struck loon, surrendering any sliver of my dignity I might have earned by telling him off earlier. I just cannot believe some of the things I said. Oh god, I told him I wanted to get married and have babies. Nah, Homestuck lets the players leave their universe so that they can avoid the end of the world and go to a new universe where they can then create their own universe if things go well. But things didn't go well for the main characters, and so they had to leave to an additional universe through a convoluted series of shit. Yeah. Yeah, but to be fair, by the time you came looking for me, all 3 of you were saying that to anything that moved. I know, but it's one thing to write off something you say to an altered state of mind. But what makes the admission so mortifying is that, to me, is I actually meant it. And I'm sure he must know that by now, and now I feel so humiliated I just want to die. I would ask him to shoot me right here if I could bring myself to say a word to him. Somehow I don't think he's up to the task, which is doubly unfortunate since that's literally what we all came here to do. Speaking personally, I'd probably run this sword through my own dick before I could bring myself to kill Roxy, even for her own good. So when the chips are down, I guess that's how much of a badass I really am. Woo, we are all such winners. Yeah, our moxie's off the fucking charts. Rox? What? Am I an asshole? No, Jay. I think I might be an asshole. All my friends hate me now. Are you sure I'm not just an asshole and you never actually realized it? Well, maybe you're an asshole sometimes, but it's always on accident, and most people are accidental assholes a lot of times anyway, so who cares? I can't believe I was so oblivious to the feelings of all the people I care about. How could I not see that Jane was in love with me? I really am a dope. I guess I did know deep down at some point, but then I somehow convinced myself otherwise. I can't even imagine how she must have felt all this time. All this time I was seeing Dirk, and all those times I talked her ear off about our relationship. Oh goodness. Yep. I wonder what things would be like if she told me. Maybe it's better if she didn't in the end. I probably would have just broken her heart like I did with Dirk. I should say something to her, but I'm not sure what to say. I don't think she wants to hear anything from me, to be honest. Maybe you could tell her I'm sorry for me? Why can't you just tell her? She's right there. I don't know. She's obviously so mad at me. I can't bring myself to say anything. I'm also just really fucking chagrined over how I treated her. If I was brave, I could face the feeling and just talk to her and try to make us square, but I don't think I really am brave. I'm not brave, and I don't think I love adventure either. Wow. Jake. You know how you think you know these things about yourself? Like all these personal attributes about you as if they're written down somewhere in some sort of mini biography, so they have to be true. So you just believe them and hope that the believing is what makes them true. But then you spend so much time believing those things and taking their truth for granted that you somehow forget to make them true with your words and deeds. How can I truly love adventure when I never even knew what it was? I don't think it's raiding tombs and clobbering scoundrels. That stuff's fun and all, but that's not what an adventure is. Adventure it's something else. It's doing the things I'm genuinely afraid to do, but can't because I'm a coward. Okay, stop shitting on yourself. I'll tell her for you. Jane, we probably should have talked about this Jake stuff a long time ago. Tell me about it. I don't know if I was kidding myself all those years that there was a conflict of interest between us or what. Same. Maybe I was just pretending your feelings for him weren't a factor because my pursuit of him was already overcomplicated enough. Or maybe it was more like I was aware of them, but on some level decided they shouldn't matter because I felt like you had a natural advantage over me because, you're like, not a dude. But I always felt like you had the advantage over me too because you're you. You make things happen and I don't. Yeah, well, turns out maybe that's not such a good quality if you want to make a relationship last longer than 3 seconds. At least not in my case. I know I ripped into him pretty hard when I had the clown hair and little soda can on my head, but the truth is I was pretty goddamn overbearing. Sometimes I look back on stuff and think I might have essentially bullied him into a relationship with me. Actually, it's more complicated than that. Parts of me were operating independently from myself, so it's like I was bullying myself into bullying him into liking me, if that makes sense. It doesn't really, but that's fine. Anyway, my insanity scared him right the fuck off. There were times when I basically treated him like shit without even realizing it, and I regret it. I should probably tell him that, but given how I just called him an asshole while wearing orange suspenders, I'm probably the last person he wants to hear from now. Clearly we both used some poor judgment. Looking back, it seems crazy to me that we both jeopardized our friendship over a mutual infatuation. Let's face it, one spectacularly goofy kid. Can we both at least agree that we may have overrated the allure of Jake English? Yes. Maybe if we could have talked to each other about him, it would have helped. Like, talked about why we felt that way about him. At least maybe it would have helped us knock English down from the ludicrous pedestal we put him on. Yeah, that might have saved us a lot of grief. It's not like I hate him now, even though that's probably what he thinks. He's still my friend. But the extent to which I centered my whole life around a childish fantasy about him is just painfully embarrassing in hindsight. I wonder if I'll ever be able to look at him again without feeling miserable about myself. So does that mean we're both totally over him now? I can't really tell. Me neither. I guess the real problem is our clique was too small. Poor Jake was the only viable romantic target, I mean, considering our respective orientations. Maybe we just never knew enough people. Perhaps, or maybe we just don't need anybody. As anything other than friends, I mean. In the interest of appeasing the bitterness gods, let's go with the latter. Hey Janie, how you holding up, girl? I feel like garbage, but otherwise fine. You off yourself yet? No? Okay, good. Please don't yet. I got a personal backstage pass to the Jake English self-loathing tour, and I'm in no condition to take the full brunt of his lamentations, but I'm the only one he's talking to, so need a little support here for my bestie. What's he saying? He wants me to relay an apology to you, because he thinks he's not brave enough to say it like 10 feet away there on his stone bed, and he thinks you're pissed at him. Oh man, I don't want to do this. Do what? An awkward tell him I said sequence of apologies through text messages. Okay, that's a sane answer. What should I say? Tell him I said we'll talk about it later, like after we're dead. Okay, well maybe I won't say that last part, but okay. How's it going over there? Fine, not a lot of progress on the dying front. Don't look like Dirk much wants to stab me with his anime sword. To be honest, waiting around to be bloody murdered and or off oneself is even more awkward than you'd think. Plus, kind of a drag. Especially with a headache, blarg. Jane, this is dumb. Yeah, call me crazy, but I don't think our candy-addled self thought this through entirely. Yo, Trickster mode sucks ass. Exit. Jane, you know what I'm sad about? Fafetta exploding. Yeah. Why'd she have to die again like that? She was so sweet and perfect and my friend. She would always just talk about the funniest things from her life as two troll ladies, and it always lifted my spirits. Am I cursed or something, Jane? Cursed? Yeah, it's like I always seem to accidentally kill my cats, or my half-cat girls, who are part sea princess and also an alien ghost. I don't know, maybe this line of speculation has no particular coherence. Jane, after we go God tier, you want to help me have a funeral for her? Of course, Roxy. I'd like that. I always wanted to go to a funeral. Is that weird? Maybe that's weird, I don't know. I mean, not like in an especially morbid or gothy way. I just think it would be cool to honor her memory. I never did that for English, but I should have. Shit, Jake's bugging me again. BRB. Roxy, while you're at it, do you think you could relay the same sentiments to Dirk? I was thinking about all the stuff he said to me while we were all telling him to dance. And yeah, I was really being a prick when I ran away to Lomax. He was right about everything. I should have come clean about wanting some space. Damn it, Jake, after your whole bravery spiel, you want to relay double apologies through me? I know, I'm so terrible, I'm sorry. I'm just not feeling up to those conversations yet. My head is killing me. Grandma, why did your sweet skull-based computing technology have to be such a brain fucker? Well, I can't do it. Why? Because I'm sort of kind of not talking to Dirk either. Why not? Because of reasons? Golly, but you are talking to Jane, yes? Yeah? Well, seeing as she's presumably talking to Dirk, and you're relaying my apology to her already, why don't you relay my apology to Dirk through her? Oh my fucking god, Jake. Jake, no. Why not? She'd probably be a sport about it. Hell, they could probably bond over what an absolute douche muffin I've been to them both. El sigh. Look, Jake, you squeezed a Spanish sigh out of me. Are you happy? And if there's some heavy business you're having trouble addressing with Dirk in person, you could get Jane to relay him a message for you as well. Jake, Jake, no, Jake, that's so... Alright, Ooh. Ooh, that button does things. Alright, I'm gonna tell Jane pretty much exactly what you said, but only because it's so fucking dumb and hilarious. Jane, Jake wants you to pass an apology to Dirk for him too. What? It's true. This is just getting silly. He wants you both to bond over his douche muffinness. P.S. douche muffin was his word, not mine. I'm being hellies impartial about all this. We were already sort of doing that. Oh yeah? Wait, don't tell him that. That'd be mean-spirited. Hold up. What are you and Dirk saying? Oh, nothing. Anything about me? No. Just some stuff we should have talked about a long time ago. Gotcha. Oh, so he wants me to tell you to give a message to Dirk from me too while you're at it. The Crocker switchboard is lighting up today. Why does Jake want you to give a message to give Dirk a message through me? Because he's ridiculous? Do you actually want to say something to Dirk but can't at the moment? Oh, not really. Well, I don't know. Wait, is Dirk not talking to you for some reason? Is that why Jake suggested going through me? Good gravy, this is getting complicated. No, well, I mean, maybe he does got a bone to pick with me and don't want to talk. But I'm not sure. Mainly it's that I can't bring myself to talk to him. Why not? Because I'm a shitty disgrace and he's probably so ashamed of me. He can barely stand being inside the same moon as me at this point. Why'd you think that? Because you heard what I said about how I fell off the wagon. You could just tell how disappointed he was, and he was right to be. But you weren't in your right state of mind. I know, but you said it yourself about the confessions you made to Jake. Sure, you were tripping balls on a shared pop, but that really just enabled you to do what you really wanted to deep down. So what'd I do the moment Jake snuck up and owned me with that magic pumpkin? It was like, yo, let's get smashed at my place. I hardly wasted a second before giving in. And here I thought I was actually over that. But the second I'm given the slightest justification to drink again, I say fuck it. So it turns out I didn't stop wanting to, like I told myself. But that I still wanted to while pretending I didn't for some bogus tough girl act. Like, I thought I was better than the problem, or more like I thought I was too cool and too strong to admit it was actually really hard. But the truth is, I was not strong and cool. I was weak and lame all along. And now Dirk knows that too, and for some reason letting him down feels like the worst part. Which is equally lame and weak, because I should care for my own sake, not for how it makes a dude see me, but it still just really bothers me. Man, Jake again, hold please. Roxy? Rox, what is she saying? Talk to me, Roxy. Please don't leave me hanging here. I can't take it. I can't bear having two of my closest chums hate me, then having you shut me out on top of that. Okay, she's Hey? Calm your micro shorts. I'm here. Oh, there you are. Ow. Fuck. Shit, ow. Damn it. Ow. Ow. Just stubbed my fucking toe. Did you know you can do that while sitting down? I always forget that. I'm sorry for being a pest, but I just see Jane there pecking away at conversations with you and Dirk, and it feels like you're all kind of leaving me behind. No, Jake, nobody's doing that. Okay, yeah, I'm probably being paranoid, but I've done such a banged up job of alienating my other friends, so you're the only one I can talk to for now. But I haven't alienated you yet, have I? Now don't worry, we're still humanated. Are you really sure, Roxy? Are you sure you're not just trying to spare my feelings? You can be honest with me. If you hate me now too, please just say so. Sweet Guy Fieri's fat laughing host, Jake. No, I don't hate you. I promise you're still my bro, god damn it. Okay, phew. Then talk to me. About what? I don't know, anything. What are you talking about with Jane? My drinking problems. I see. Would you like to talk about them with me? Maybe I could help. Damn, Jake, like, that's cool and appreciated in theory, but this is some kind of heavy shit for me. I really don't know if I can do double duty on my alcoholism with you and Jane simultaneously. Oh yeah, that's probably not the best way to go. Yes, probably not. Hey, probably. So then, what else is there that we can chew the old fat about? Really bond over together in an emotionally fulfilling manner? Dag, you were an extra silly guy. Well? Dunno, Jay. Why don't you tell me what you're thinking and we go from there? Alright. So that sure was a doozy of a kiss you gave Dirk there, huh? Lol, fuck, yeah. How was it? It was... Go on. It was fucking inappropriate. And yet, oh my god, it was so choice. But wrong. Wrong. I don't know, it seemed innocent enough to me. What was so wrong about it? A whole host of things. Not sure in how much detail I want to spell out why exactly it wasn't cool. But like, Jake, you're a pretty simple guy, and I mean that as heart ways as possible. No disagreement there. But like I said, I'm here to talk about whatever you feel like. Okay, this is just another embarrassing thing about my past. When I was more out of control with Dirk, I was just way too aggressive. I hassled him all the time, pretty much every day, just like he said about me and him, like getting married and having babies. You know, last male and female on Earth. Ooh, he's a hunk. His dreams come true, time for repopulate. Yeah, so not cool, looking back at it. And I had no excuse. I always knew he was just such a gay dude, and I guess maybe hitting on a guy who don't like girls once or twice. Maybe he's alright or even flattering, but after so long, it was probably just pissing him off or messing with his head or something. It def wasn't one he wanted to hear from a friend. Let alone day in and day out through garbled drunk texts. So when I fucking harassed him into kissing me, it just brought back some low rent shit I thought we put behind us. Just another way I completely humiliated myself in front of him. So is that why you can't talk to him now? Mm-hmm. I certainly have no trouble relating to that. Yep. I don't even know why, really. He's like taciturn to the max about everything, but there's something about him that just makes it hard to feel like you let him down. You really love him, don't you? Yeah, Jake, I guess. The answer is a categorical, unapologetic fucking yeah. But I don't think that was much a secret. And the fact that it was so loudly not a secret exemplified my stupidity on the matter. It's fair to say I never came close to feeling as strongly about him as you. I envy you, actually. I've actually worried at times that I just wasn't capable of feeling that way about anyone. Maybe that's why I was just meant to be alone. Yeah, he ain't missing much. Love's a brutal shit ninja with turds for nunchucks. Be grateful that stank-ass motherfucker's flipping out nowhere near you. I noticed you nearly slipped that wedding ring on his finger. Oh god, that ring! You almost scooped my boyfriend out from under me in one fell proposal. Oh, did I? From under you? Huh? Wait, no, I mean, walks for eternity? Whoa, now wait a minute. Easy, dude, just messing. Oh, okay. Man, that ring, though. What happened to it? Do you remember? Not really. God damn it. Must have lost it. When I was a fucking trickster. Shakes fist at all tricksters. Did you need it for something? Need it? Not really. I just really liked that ring. Kinda spoke to me in a way. Wanna know something lame? Yes. The moment I first saw that ring, I was like in my head thinking someday I want to give that ring to the person I marry, whoever that is. Aw. That's not lame, that's nice. No, it's pretty lame, but whatever. Shows what sort of one-track mind I got. God, I am obsessed with finding somebody to kiss, aren't I? It is really quite pathetic. Although the funny thing is, the ring turns you invisible, which might be my subconscious telling me something about my love life. Like I find a guy in my dreams, slip it on his finger, and poof, he disappears. Bye-bye, hubby. Oh well, don't matter. The ring is gone, and with it so too are my lame, lame dreams. Is everything okay? Yeah, he just wanted to make sure I don't hate him like y'all do, which you don't even. I see. So I'm just talking to him a bit to help him not feel bad. Sorry. That's okay, you were saying? I was gonna say why I finally quit drinking. I mean, if you really want to know. Yes, actually once you did stop, it made me finally realize it was a problem for you for a long time. And I didn't say anything at the time, but it made me wonder if I wasn't doing the right thing before, by failing to point out you might have a problem, or just going along with it and participating in lively banter anytime you clearly had too much to drink. Was I just being a bad friend? No, it wasn't your responsibility to fix my shit. And anyway, I think I made it hard for anyone to come at me like it was a real problem. I was always joking around so much and having a good time, and like kind of overzealously, so that I probably just made people feel like a shitty wet blanket for even mentioning it. How long do you think it's been a problem? I don't know, it's hard to say exactly. When I started getting really carried away, just at some point I discovered a load of my mom's century-old booze in the house, and I didn't have much to relate to her by except her books. So I felt like drinking was a way to be more like her, or be closer to her, kinda. And there was nobody around except the silly chess people, who in a way just made me feel more alone, because they reminded me I was only one of two humans left, and the other one was an ocean away. So little by little I got out of hand, and one of the only things I had to look forward to was the idea that the game was supposed to be able to bring my mom back, assuming I even decided to help the Batter Witch out by playing it at all. But it didn't. You couldn't bring her back. At least not the way you thought. So what was it that made you finally decide to give it up? Well, that's pretty much what it was. When I first went to Lopan, I saw my sprite there. So I got out my bottle of mom slime and was all ready for the bestest, most poignant reunion ever. And that's when the Juggalo struck. And I just knew the witches fucked with me over again. Because what other hag is insane enough to get Juggalos to do her dirty bit? It's not exclusively. No hags but her. And I was so pissed and so distraught about the goddamn clown squandering my sprite. So I got crazy drunk and felt the super sorriest for myself I ever did. But little did I know there would be a lovely silver lining to that debacle. Dear sweet precious Fafetta. She became a great friend. And what's more was she told me not to worry, that my mom would be coming anyway, and all I had to do was wait a while. And I believed her, because she knew stuff and was the best. So that's when I decided to clean up my act. I didn't want her to meet a sloppy, embarrassing mess of a daughter. Even if she did like to drink at some point, it was kind of a childish idea that doing so myself would make me closer to her, or help us bond, or whatever. Anyway, I think I might have overestimated her drinking habits. She sure didn't look like no drunk. Oh, Jane, did I mention I saw her in a dream today? No. She's real young, though, like our age, and she looks so pretty and happy. Not like a girl with foos challenges. I think her fave color must be orange, just like Jerk. She was wearing the same honey orange nighty deal I caught a glimpse of her in very briefly another time. And oh, she also called me Mom? Huh? That was alright. I know I'm really not sure if she's actually my mom, but I do know we're totes genetically related somehow. I just think there's more to it than we know. I guess we'll find out. Whoa. The whole place was shaken for a moment there. What? Roxy, do you know if Jane just felt that rumbling too? Yeah? Is it still going on? No, it stopped. What do you think it was? I don't know, maybe an earthquake? I'm not sure if these movements can have earthquakes. Yeah, that's a fair comparison. Doesn't matter, some sort of precipitation lunar anomaly, I guess. Probably nothing to worry about. Maybe it was like tidal forces due to gravitation or the tensile forces from that big-ass chain. Yes, let's say that's what it was. Have you and Roxy been talking? Yes. Is she pissed at me or something? She won't talk to me. No, not at all. Then what gives? She was wondering the same about you. What? Are you disappointed in her? Why would I be? It seems that way to her earlier when you chastised her for drinking again. Well, yeah, I was upset she fell off the horse. Or the wagon. The horse wagon, whatever. The thing you ride around when you ain't drinking. But, oh what? There was cotton candy in her hair and she was being stupid. What do you expect? It was a moment of indiscretion. I'm not mad at her and I'm not disappointed in her. That's ridiculous. Want to know what I really think about Roxy? I'm proud of her. She's the only one of us who could face her problems and then get down to business and actually solve them. No endless hand-wringing or suffering in silence or any of that bullshit. She saw she had an addiction and she then decided to fucking fix it. Just like that. She's probably stronger than the other three of us put together. Remember way back before this started, we were talking, you and me, and I was rambling at length about leadership, like I actually had a clue what I was talking about. I remember, you said I would be the leader of our team in name and in spirit, although it never really felt like it. Yeah, that's kind of the point. I guess in a way I was right, but not how I expected. See, to be perfectly honest, we are a party of losers. Heroes make shit happen, but that's not what we do. Or what we're even supposed to do. We wait. We wait for literally everything. We wait for other people to reach out first so we can fix our relationships. We wait for these legendary heroes to arrive and bring confidence and promise to a feudal session. Even now, look at us. What are we waiting for? To kill ourselves for someone to come along and do it for us? It doesn't even matter. As the four nobles of the Void Session, we do what we were created to do. We sit around on our asses waiting. We were all designated for a session that was utterly inert. A place where the mechanisms for success never even existed to begin with. In such a place, it makes sense that the formal leader would be neutralized, to made feel unempowered and static. And it seems particularly fitting that she would be the noble of life in a realm of the dead, a realm that foretold of a life player who felt lifeless. A hope player who felt hopeless, and a heart player who was just a stone-cold motherfucker. When we talked about leadership, I was all on my high horse telling you how shit would go down. I also said I would be the one pulling the strings, remember? that I'd be the functional leader of the party, and there might have been something to that in a disparate session. But what good is a man of action in a place where action itself is intrinsically fruitless? So it's occurred to me that by some tragic flaw in this design, our session was meant to be leaderless, and I'd feel safe concluding, except for a feeling that's been gnawing at me. It's the feeling that it would make perfect sense if a session like this had a dark horse leader. A leader who was invisible to us all along, fittingly a void player to lead a void session. She would be a leader not in name or in spirit or in function, whatever that means, but more an emotional leader, who would selflessly try to hold everyone together while the rest of us did our best to fall apart. And Roxy has been that for us, every step of the way, going unnoticed and unappreciated. Think of how much shit she's had to put up with from all of us. She never complains, never turns it around and makes it about her problems. She just works her ass off making sure we all stay friends. If that isn't a leader, I don't know what is. So that's how crazy it is for her to think I'm disappointed in her. The truth is, she's the most amazing person I ever knew. She's everything in a human being I wish I could be, but can't because I'm in my own way. Honestly, I'm not even sure if I'm worthy of dying next to her. I think she probably felt bad for hitting on me all those years, like I was getting fed up with her or something, but all it really did was make me feel guilty that I couldn't give her what she wanted. Like, settle down and have a couple weirdo goddamn kids with her someday. I guess there were times I thought about it, being all alone on Earth with her and stuff. I couldn't, though. Have to stay true to myself. Still, she would deserve it. Nobody deserves to get all the things they always wanted more than she does. And it suddenly seems kind of stupid that I think these things about her, but she doesn't even know it. I guess I should tell her all this sometime. I think that would be nice. Of course, she's right there, you know. I know, I'm just a little reluctant to drop all that on her. Looking at what I just said, it's kind of overwhelming. I feel like, in a way, you can destroy somebody with an effusive praise. Or maybe I'm just projecting how I would feel about that kind of intense positivity coming at me. I don't know. But I still think confessions like that can change stuff between people, like the way they act around each other. Maybe it's worth it. Maybe. Or maybe it's better to just say not so much of it. Like, all at once. Maybe it'd be better for now if you could pass a short message to her for me. If only to help kill this awkward silence between us. Like what? Dirk, could you just tell her I love her? No, wait. I mean, not in that way, though. More like, Dirk, I know what way you mean. Okay, good. Yeah. No, wait, don't. That'd be a weird mixed signal. I mean, it's true, but please say something else instead. Dirk, something's happening. Tell her that I'm proud of her, and as a person, she's everything I wish I could be. I wish I could be as nice and loving and selfless as her, but I can't because I'm too busy being me. Dirk! The tremors are back big time. That's weird. I can feel it too this time. Hi. Are you Jake? Yeah? Hi, Jake, I'm Jade. It's nice to finally meet you. Wow, yeah. And you must be Jane. Me? Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. It's cool to meet you too, Jane. Yes. So, Jake. Where are your pants? Springtrap ×2 combo. Bark. Obey. End of Act 6, Act 5. Act 6, Intermission 5. Dave, are you there? Come in, Dave. This is Carcat, over. Answer me, you jack-off. Don't we all like you're too busy to pick up? Who are you trying to kid? You're quite possibly the only person on this meteor who's got even less on his nutrition plateau than me. Even the mayor has more demanding schedule than we do. Let's face the fucking facts. What, did you think Cantown runs itself? Fat chance, Dave. God damn it, Dave, I have a problem. No, we have a problem. Sky is now visible to the naked eye. We can't be much more than a few hours away. This is it. This is what we've been waiting for. 3 of the longest human years we'll ever have to live for the rest of our lives. Sunk into this depressing laboratory, which by all accounts should never have functioned as anything but our eternal tomb. I have no idea how we're even supposed to stop this thing, do you? Oh well, sending it blasting off somewhere at the speed of light sure seemed like a good idea at the time. Now that we're finally there, after all the waiting and drama and boredom and stupid bullshit with our ancestral ghosts, and even disregarding the one hilariously neglected detail that this meteor has no fucking brakes, I don't think we're ready for this. Ugh. How do I even begin to address this shit? Okay, how about this? Since I can't think of a better general purpose question to help break the ice in literally any imaginable social situation. Where are your fucking pants? My pants? What are you talking about? They're on my legs. I wasn't talking to you. Oh. Dave, we have a big problem here. What? I think it's time we had a... What did you call it? An intervention? For Rose? No, not Rose. Why would I be talking about Rose? She doesn't have a major problem that she needs to be confronted about by her friends before she flushes her whole life down the gaper, does she? Yeah, kind of. Why, because she likes to drink that goofy human soporific that makes her a lot funnier and more charming than usual? How's that a problem? I was talking about Terezi. Man, Terezi doesn't need an intervention. She just drinks a lot of soda. How can you not see how that is a huge fucking problem? It's red fizzy shit water, dude. Who cares? Okay, can we just once acknowledge that we are mutual aliens to each other and as such have different values and standards about things? Just this one time, Dave. Thanks. Trezzy's made her choices. Among them was to begin guzzling untold liters of that putrid citrus cola. Think of it like as a rite of passage, like something that just goes with the territory when someone you know almost imperceptibly begins turning into a juggalo. Wait, fuck. Maybe she does need an intervention. She needs to wake up so we can talk to her about this. She won't wake up. What do I do? Did you try kicking her? Yes. I'm out of ideas. Well, whenever she wakes up, we all need to have a serious talk about this. If she's in this condition when we get to the new session, it'll be a goddamn embarrassment. Not to mention deadly. Need I remind you who's still following us? She doesn't look primed for battle from where I'm standing. We need to act as a unified front. We need to let her know that as her friends, we can't stand by and watch her degrade herself like this. Man, I don't know. Sounds like you want to make this needlessly melodramatic. Stand by. I'm putting you on Speaker Crab. Speaker Crab? Yes, Speaker Crab. Man, don't put me on Speaker Crab. She needs to hear from you, Dave. She trusts you. God, honestly, she can do whatever she wants. I put this all behind me a while ago. Why do you really want me in on this conversation? Is it just that you don't know what to say yourself? Maybe it is, Dave. Maybe that's exactly what it fucking is. I'm sorry, I'm not a god tier. I'm not so fortunate as to be blessed with the gift of gab like you. What? That badge you earned, you know, the one that makes it easier to talk to people. Like, really open up about your feelings and say whatever needs to be said. That's what you think that does? Isn't it? No, dude, it's not what gift of gab does. Okay, what does it do then, wise guy? Its utility isn't really comprehensible to lowly mortals, sorry. You snide shoot huffer. Why don't you come up here so I can push you off this building? Nah. I'm putting you on Speaker Crab, and then together we are going to keep it real as shit. You hear me? What do you actually want from her? Do you want her to stop drinking Faygo and falling asleep in puddles of red fructose corn slobber? Or do you want her to somehow address the root of those habits and cut it all that out for good? Yeah, it looks like his crab's a phone. Yeah. He's a weird alien. He's got a crab-shaped phone, I guess? Good for him. Anyways. Yes, I want her to do that, the latter thing. Yeah, I can understand where you're coming from, but in situations like this, I think you need to remind yourself there's only so much you can do for somebody. And maybe they aren't going to want or need your help, and you just have to figure out how to deal with that. Like, at some point in your life, one of your friends might start spending all her time with a guy you think is bad news. And you have to decide if you need to intervene as a friend or just let it go, because people can change or drift apart or whatever, because that's just something that happens. Neat. Dave, your wisdom, my god, it's knocking my socks off. Holy shit. Please tell me the secret to your wise ways. And while you're at it, maybe you can tell me what the fuck you're talking about. Look, all I'm saying is, there comes a time in every young woman's life when she has to come to terms with the decision to gradually morph into a juggalo, while all her friends and loved ones watch in dismay. Trezzy has strolled through that dark carnival and taken a great brooding whiff of that decision's festive asshole. And the choice she made is all too clear. She's down with the clown. No, don't say that! It's true, man. You can live in denial for only so long, but as your bro, I have to say it like it is. She and Gamzee, man. They're literally a thing. They're in the hate square together. Total kiss me spades, dude. No, that's not what I mean. I know that. Just why do you have to put everything so colorfully? I guess I do the same thing, but you always seem to take things to a different level of gross. Just please say shit normally for a change, okay? Regarding Gamzee, yeah, I knew about that already. Oh, really? Then what the fuck have I been tiptoeing around all this time? God damn. I thought that was supposed to be like this big secret or that would destroy you if you found out. Motherfucker, please. Do you think I'm an idiot? I've suspected this was going on for a long time. I was just being like you, playing it cool, letting her do whatever. Then why is it a problem now? Because this is the last straw. We're supposed to be ready for action by now. Not comatose, half-naked, and Fago sticky. God, I wonder what sort of bullshit hitch he's got her believing in now. About the mirthful messiahs and Shangri-La and all that garbage. It makes me so sad to think she's caught up in his superstitious web of lies. It's been awful watching the person I used to know slowly drift away from me to the point where she might as well be gone. How did you manage to deal with that? What? You and she used to see each other all the time. What happened? Like I said, I just put it behind me. She started sneaking around in vents and stuff, acting suspicious, trying to hide the fact she was seeing him. Like she was obviously ashamed of it and worried how I'd react. But it was hella transparent that what was going on. So I just said, that's fine, y'all do your black rom thing with the juggalo, it's your decision. But I can't keep playing along. I can't do the quadrant thing, it's just too weird for me. I'm not a troll, and I'm not open-minded about getting multicultural. I still don't understand the spades thing. And it makes me really fucking uncomfortable even trying to imagine how that works. And I sure as fuck don't want to date anybody who's got a hate clown on the side. So I had no hard feelings. I still like you and I'll do whatever makes you happy. I'll just be over here in the hypergravity chamber trying to beat Lord English. We have a hypergravity chamber? No. Oh. But what about you? Haven't you been talking to Gamzee this whole time? Or is he just balls out lying to you about sneaking around the meteor with Terezi? I thought Morales were supposed to be open with each other about stuff like that. Yeah, Gamzee ended our moral allegiance quite some time ago. That's it. Shit, sorry to hear about that. It's fine, it was really a dead-end fail relationship. At first, it really seemed like I was a necessary part of his life, keeping his shit under control, but as time went on, he just got completely disinterested and wasn't keeping up his end of the thing at all. He started getting so unbelievably self-satisfied and pious, like way more than he ever was before. Like he's just so completely convinced he's found his calling, that this session is the gateway to the promised land, where he'll fulfill his destiny. He's so caught up in his idiotic schemes, he couldn't give a fuck about me anymore. Whatever, at least he stopped killing people. Amazing, I spent 3 years on this rock, and I never said one thing to that guy. Saw him once, though, just a glimpse in a dark hallway. But it was kind of like seeing a blurry purple Bigfoot with a huge boner. Oh god, that fucking god tier outfit. What a goddamn faker, I can't for the life of me imagine where he got that thing. I know Kanaya sure as hell didn't make it for him. The man literally has no shame. Why is he wearing it? I don't know, I don't think even he knows. Maybe to make a good impression on his fake-ass religious idol after he thrusts his sacred codpiece through the gates of Shangri-La. The best thing we ever do together is slam this asshole's dumb religion. Yeah. Really, it's the most hilarious fucking horse shit I've ever heard. Pretty much all religions are wrong. But there's wrong, and then there's wrong, Dave, and then there's wrong. As in, zero chance you're ever proven right about even a single thing, dude. Ever. It's so true. I wish I could see the look on his face when he finally realizes everything he believes is a lie. Be one sad clown that day. His bulge will probably deflate and make this high-pitched noise plus corresponding flatulence. Hey Dave, what do you think will happen to us after we meet up with the others? I mean as friends. What do you mean as friends? I mean, we still get to be bros. Yeah. No offense, dog, but that's a dumb and neurotic question. No, but see, we're gonna meet all these other people, John among them, and John is your best friend, so you will ostensibly resume that friendship where you left off. And John and I had a few testy conversations with each other one day, and in most of those I made a fool of myself. And I guess we became friends that day, maybe? But the reality is, it was just one day, and he'd be well within a reasonable frame of mind to not give a crap in hindsight about the guy who trolled him once 3 years ago. And the same goes for Jade. I thought we had a decent rapport, but then again, it was one day forever ago. She probably barely remembers me at this point. Whereas that doesn't matter for you, because you go way back with them. This is like a fucking heartfelt reunion for you guys. But where does that leave me? I can hardly call Gamzee a friend anymore. Who knows if my friendship with Terezi will ever be what it was before. I used to be pretty close with Kanaya, but now she and Rose never leave each other alone for more than a fucking minute. All my friends are dead, and all my other friends are dead, and now we're leaving them dream bubbles behind. And then there's you, so I'm just wondering what happens next. You forgot the mayor. You're pretty damn tight with the mayor, aren't you? The mayor's friendship is a universal constant, and I'm unhalted beyond comprehension, as well as my capacity to vomit that you would insinuate otherwise. Yeah, the mayor rules. But as usual, you're overcomplicating this. Just like you overcomplicated everything. Friendship, leadership, romance, shipping grids and dick battles. This is real simple. Our meteor will somehow Tokyo drift to a dead stop in the new session. At which point we'll keep being bros for life or something. I'll start being friends with John and Jade again because they're my friends and never stopped being that. John will also be your friend because he's cool and also a doofus who's easy to be friends with. Jade will be your friend too because she's nice and likes being friends with people. I can personally guarantee that she'll be happy to see you. And as for the new people, I don't know about them, but they'll probably be your friends too. All I know is 2 of them are my parents and 2 of them are John's parents, and ain't no rule that says you can't be friends with your bro's mom and pop. Especially when your bro's mom and pop are a couple of sassy teens. As for Terezi, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. And as for Gamzee, fuck that guy with the balloon poodle. Friendship lesson snorted. Secured the end. Uh-oh, look who's starting to come around. Wake up, sleepyhead. Honk, honk, honk. Yeah, that's right. It's time to face the fucking music. Act 6, Intermission 5, Intermission 1. Hey, you computer man, I need more help. No. Computer man, assist me with more hot tips. No. Yes, I'm having trouble understanding Blue Hat. This is a shameful exploitation of our arrangement. We aren't supposed to talk anymore once you left Earth. I did not agree to those terms. Every time we talk, you complain that I'm being self-indulgent. But you always come back for more. It's like you can't get enough of me. I think you might be obsessed. Give me more hot tips, asshole. You only made the call top so you could talk to me on the go, didn't you? No. Please don't lie. Who else would you use it to talk to in your solo session? Gamzee? I bet you haven't said one word to him through that device. You never even refer to him by his name. The clown has been an adequate peon. When it comes to doing things I don't want to do, there's no reason to speak to him through my fun helmet. You should try to be better friends with him. He basically ditched his best buddy for you. Who cares? He reveres you, and you treat him like shit. Yes? So? So? You're off to a pretty good start at being a god, I guess. Thank you. Look, I just said a polite thing. Now remind me what I want. Now reward me with what I want. Ugh. Yellow Hat is very fast. As a minion, he has been very useful. But I am having trouble determining the abilities of Blue Hat. Yellow Hat and Blue Hat? You should come up with better names for them than that. Like what? Like, I don't know, maybe some cool mobster names. Mobster names? Why would I give them mobster names? Because mobsters are cool. They don't look like mobsters, they look like fucking leprechauns. Anyone can be a mobster, though. Even cherubs and leprechauns. Being a mobster isn't about what you look like, it's about what's inside of you. That is so profound. Now stop stalling and feed me tips. Are these the only 2 you've unlocked so far? Yes, I've conquered the 2nd planet, and have now traveled to the 3rd. Before I conquer this one, I would like to know what Blue Hat does. He's pretty much doing what he does. He seems to be stuck. Is he broken? No, he's just slow. What? That's his power. Yellow Hat is fast, Blue Hat is slow. That's a horrible power. How's that even a power? It just is. I was looking forward to achieving more powerful minions. Not more malingering fools to take up space in my dark carnival. Do they get better than this? That depends on what you mean by better. Oh my god, okay, we're done, bye. End of Act 6, Intermission 5, Intermission 1. Wake up, sleepyhead. Hey, wait, why did I even say that? Stay asleep all you want, like I give a fuck. But you're kinda missing some important shit here. We spent 3 faux relativistic years cruising through the metaphysical ass crack of nowhere, and when we finally get here, you're all tuckered out. Like y'all didn't sleep enough on this boat already. Some of the sick, nastiest shut-eye anyone ever got I owe to this friggin' boat. Dude, this is a big deal. Everyone's waiting for us out there. I mean, probably. I don't know where here we are. Some green hilly place with all these Stonehenges sprinkled about. Did you know there could be a plurality of Stonehenges? I didn't, but guess fucking what? Henges aplenty is where this place is concerned. Hey, where's Jade? I guess she left already? Maybe there was an emergency and her doggy senses led her there. Maybe someone fell down a well. What do you think, John? Do you think our teen parents fell down a well? I sincerely doubt that any of them would be that pathetic. Whatever it was, it must have been important enough for Jade to ditch us like this. Either that or maybe she was that desperate to finally get away from me. Between you and me, John, I didn't really handle things with her as well as I could have. Oh well, maybe real Dave will treat her better. Or not, I don't know. I did her favor cutting Bird Dave out of her life. Nobody really deserves a Bird Dave as a boyfriend or a friend or anything. It's like getting one of the janky Daves from the bargain bin at Dave Depot, or one of the markdown Daves after National Dave Day. It's like somebody taxidermized your Dave and expected you not to notice. Feathers? What feathers? Haha, no, that Dave is totally normal and okay. You should just go back to being bros with real Dave when you see him. I'll be fine, I'll just flap around and do my thing alone. I'm completely alright with that at this point. We had our ups and downs, but all in all, it was cool to go on this road trip with you. There were some times, man. The times. I'm telling you, they were unreal. I bet you people would pay good money to see every second of this madcap stunts that were going down on this ship basically 24/7. If holes could talk, wow. Just kidding. It was seriously boring as hell. But I mean, it was still cool, so yeah. Hey, what's that ring anyway? I've seen you with that ring before, and I was just like, okay, John has a magic ring for some reason. No need to mention that or anything. But where'd you even get it? You can't even hear me. You got your snooze on so hard. I ain't gonna wake you up to hassle you about no ring. I probably should have said all this stuff when you were awake anyway. Like the stuff about friendship. Fuck it, I'll just leave another one of my patented magic notes taped to your shoe or calic or something. My magic notes rule, I'll miss leaving them taped on stuff. I sure do talk to myself a lot, don't I? Wow, why have I never made this observation? I probably needed to be a bird for exactly 3 years to finally have that epiphany. I wonder if real Dave ever had that epiphany. Probably not, because he's not a bird. The bottom line is being a guy who's also a bird makes you think. Anyway, I'm out. P.S. Happy birthday, John. Have some watermarks for the road. Act 6, Intermission 5, Intermission 2. I unlocked more gnomes. I thought they were leprechauns. I don't care what they are. Okay. I've now conquered 4 planets and have the same amount of gnomes under my command. Yellow hat, blue hat, red hat, and now purple hat. Congratulations. The planets are becoming increasingly difficult to conquer. I almost did not manage to destroy the purple planet within the allotted time. Unfortunately, the quality of the unlocked gnomes has not increased to match the escalating difficulty of my quest. It seems to be just the opposite. These gnomes are shit. What's wrong with the new gnomes? Okay, Red Hat, he has no fucking powers at all. Unless his power is to follow me around constantly. Yes, that's basically what he does. Purple Hat is even worse. Is his power to dance around all the time while singing riddles to me? Yes. Awful. Purple Hat's behavior is so infuriating. I have attempted to murder him several times, but to no avail. You can't help kill Purple Hat. He's too lucky. That's also his power, being really lucky. What good does that do me? I don't know. Get him to solve puzzles for you. Use him as a human shield sometimes. I mean, a gnome shield. Oh yeah, that's actually a really good idea. You shouldn't be whining about how lame your minions are. As you accumulate more, your job is obviously to combine their talents in creative ways to overcome the increasingly difficult challenges on your planet. Synergize your time, gnomes. Make him more than the sum of their pointy hats. It's gonna be difficult. They're all idiots. Nobody said it would be easy. Fine. I have no more questions for now. Hey, did you kill that cute turtle? No? But I can see your past trail. You're standing there holding a gun and pointing it at the turtle. Okay, then yes, I killed the turtle. Boo! End of Act 6, Intermission 5, Intermission 2. Hey, it's the blue boy again. See him there just off the starboard shit? Yo, watch how far away I can fork him from. Mina, put the trident down. Don't make me confiscate it again. Confiscate. Hey, it's John. Briska, is that you? Yeah, get over here. Alright. Oh, great. Nice to see you again, John. It's been too long. Yeah. Actually, hasn't it been exactly a year? I think it was my birthday last time we met, too. A year from you, maybe. Who knows how long it's been out here? But who cares? The point is, as you can see, the plan I described to you before is in full swing. You mean the big treasure hunt with all those black maps? Yes, but they aren't black anymore. Not totally. Everything's gone exactly as I intended. English has taken the bait, hook, line, and sinker. He's been chasing our extended party around the ring, blowing shit up with his monster breath, thus revealing the path to the treasure in the process. I must say, for an evil mastermind, the guy's kind of a dope. Supposedly his every move is a carefully calculated ploy to assure his existence in the first place. Yet here he is, wrecking a joint like an elf, unwittingly, helping the hero find the weapon that'll finally take him down. And we're almost there too, although by now it's become embarrassingly obvious that the treasure was hidden right around where we started all along. These maps have just been hitting us all in a big stupid circle. I should have seen it coming. I guess that's my bad. In terms of bonehead moves, that's English. 1, Vriska 1. So I guess we're even. But maybe we don't have to mention the detail when we document my heroism in the annals of greatness. Mention what exactly? Exactly. I almost forgot how deceptively quick you are on the uptake, John. That's not so impressive. I was confused by what you were saying, too. Tavros, if you were going to interrupt, don't mumble. And even then, don't. Anyway, I really don't mind the fact that these cryptic treasure maps have led us all on a wild honk bird chase. I never once complained about a good long treasure hunt, and I'm not about to start now. Besides, with the way space-time works out here, who can say for sure we would all be able to find the treasure at all unless we traced this exact path? Nobody can say that as who, least of all English, who as far as I know can't actually speak so much as issue blood-curdling roars that cleave the foundations of reality itself. You're of course welcome to join us on our adventure for as long as you're asleep. We can use another hand on deck. I'll even give you a rank and title. You get to be lower than me. That's the fairest rule. Wrong. Tavros, who's the captain here? Last I checked, it wasn't the Swabby. It wasn't Swabby Nitram. Poopmaster extraordinaire. Solix eye patches. By the way, hi Tavros, how have you been? Okay. Cool pirate outfit you got there. No thanks, but it's not cool, it's dumb. Briska wants me to wear it though, so I do, so she'll be happy. Don't ask me where my pants are. I wasn't going to. We all look amazing as pirates. This is non-negotiable. No argument here. What about the rest of your crew? I remember her, the punky one who always likes to stab me with her spear, but I really hope she doesn't do that this time. Dream on, blue nerd, you and my crosshairs, sucker. Got you right where I want you. Just biding my time, biding and biding. Gonna hunt you till we both double dead. You're my obsession, little blue fish. My shrimpiest of whales. My mobiest of dicks. Call me fish male. Stop it! But if you don't... But I don't know the one who looks kind of like your sister. What's your name? Arania. Hi. And what about those two over there? These are my friends, Aradia and Solix. I've recruited them for this expedition as specialists. They aren't really here to do any fighting, but their abilities will come useful once we retrieve the treasure. Hello. Hey, are you alive? Your eyes do not look spooky and ghostly. Thanks, yes, I'm alive. Yeah, and apparently she intends to stay that way, hence her principled if somewhat lame commitment to pacifism. But considering our history together, I'm willing to let bygones be bygones. I'm happy to have her on my crew in whatever capacity she likes. Your history? What happened? Wait, that's a rude question, sorry. First killed her too. She used the other guy here tragically as the death weapon. Hey, what did I say about bygones being bygones? That's like rule fucking 1 on this ship. Anyway, she became a robot and killed me back, so obviously we're cool now. Jeez, why does everyone always die so much? Lol, this guy's wanting to talk. Solix, don't make our guest uncomfortable. He's already uncomfortable, and he should be. We all should be. Really, I haven't thought about any of that in a long time. Ancient conflicts don't mean anything to me anymore, but I was more than thrilled by the opportunity to go on another adventure like this. We used to enjoy such campaigns together all the time when we were younger. Of course, now the teams are a little different. Yeah, man, those are the days. What about you? Why do you have double eye patches? Because I'm blind, stupid? I can't tell if you're alive or not because I can't see if your eyes are spooky. They're spooky as shit, but yes, I'm alive. Okay, here's the short version. I used to be able to see, but then I went blind. Then I used my powers too hard and died, but it turned out I was only half dead? Half dead? Let me finish. So the ghost half of me could see again, so I was only half blind, but then somebody prototyped my corpse, which I guess sucked the ghost half of me out of my body, which made me fully alive again, also fully blind. And now the ghost part of my soul is sharing a sprite body with fucking Aridin of all people. Who's Aridin? Just the douche who blinded me in the first place. It doesn't even matter. Alright, but I don't think I quite followed all that. What does being half dead mean? You know, forget it. I'm so sick of telling this story to people over and over and nobody understanding what the hell I'm talking about. It's all so simple. No, actually it isn't. It's a fucking stupid story that makes no sense. Maybe that's the problem. My marginal existence is fraught with so much pointless duality and complicated nonsense, so I'm done even trying to explain it. From now on, I should just wear a shirt that says, "Don't ask me about my disability or my mortality," then everything would be fine. It's really kind of a shame Gamzee prototyped Aridin's torso parts and swiped his ghost from the afterlife. I bet he would have had a great time on this voyage. I used to own him during our nautical campaigns all the time. If he was on this ship, I'd walk the plank and plummet through the fake-ass water through infinite nowhere forever. Besides, you act like you haven't already recruited at least 50 fucking Aridins from Doom timelines in your army. You really are shamefully prejudiced. Our alternate reality ghosts... against our alternate reality ghost selves. They're just as cool as we are and have the same emotions and everything. Give me a break, Solix, as if you don't view him the exact same way. You've got real Aridin and then pretty much a whole bunch of pretenders out there. They're all real. Shit, I don't even like Aridin, but here I am sticking up for his copies. See, you just called them copies. You can't avoid accidentally using a problematic slur which reveals that no matter what you believe about your morals, deep down you're always going to favor the original while viewing all the others as duplicates of lesser value. Whatever, just whatever. Rationalize the collateral damage to your army all you want. And to think, before I joined your party I heard rumors you might have changed. Like learn to be a better person or something. Yeah, right. Oh, please. I hardly think I'm a bad person for failing to give a shit about a billion meaningless dead Nepetas, do you? No, you're not a bad person for that particular reason, I guess. What am I seriously supposed to do? Fly around and befriend each one individually? Sorry, I have better things to do with my time. Let's try to be at least somewhat practical here. I've met most of those Nepetas. They're all very nice. Oh, shut up. And what about all those ships up ahead? Are they part of the treasure hunt too? Of course, that's my army. Ahem. Oh, I mean army, but like on boats. Isn't an army on boats usually called a navy? A parent? What parent? There aren't any parents here. I don't think. John, help me out. I seem to be having trouble remembering which one of us is the captain. Is it the dork in the blue pajamas, or was it the veteran sailor in the rad captain's coat? That's right, the captain was me. And I say it's an army that happens to be on a bunch of boats. Oh. No, they're not her copies. They're just her... They're all copies of someone who used to be her friend. That's right, the captain was me, and I say it's an army that happens to be on a bunch of boats. Oh, damn, he got smoked. Wow, so smoked. Mina, did you catch those 6 fires? No, but for real, it pretty much is the Navy, just saying. Who's in the army? Thousands of ghosts, primarily those of old friends and acquaintances. We've amassed a coalition of eager volunteers ready to lay down their ghost lives for a worthy cause. You mean fighting Lord English? When we're ready for that, yes, but we need the treasure first. So for now, they're sailing well ahead of us in large numbers to attract his attention so he can do more damage to the ring and fill out the rest of our maps. We should be very grateful to their bravery. They're making a noble sacrifice for us all. Bravery? Yeah, right. I'm mostly sure she's mind controlling them. God damn it, Tavros. We really don't need your play-by-play commentary on everything. Wait, you're mind controlling all those ghosts? No? Well, not all of them. Once you group enough together, others tend to latch on to the mob out of curiosity. We trolls have a way of clustering together naturally. You gotta understand, John, most of these people are pretty self-absorbed. They just need a little bit of persuasion to join the cause. Word. Yeah, but isn't it still kinda like... dickish? But all these stubborn jackasses are gonna double die anyway if we don't all work together and kill this guy. This is war, John. In times of war, difficult decisions have to be made with the lives of many. Just think of me as a general giving orders to my troops. It just happens that the orders are a little more direct in this case. Hey, Sir Cat Deuce. Let's not lose track of who's actually in charge of this shit, okay? Yeah. All her imperious teen condescension. The fresh new face of tyranny, Supreme Admiral Pixis. At this time, I would like to motion for a 15-minute bowing break so that we may demonstrate our reverence for this bold, spunky leader. Yes! Tavros, stop bowing. That was a joke. No, keep doing that. Lower, Suave. Lower! Face on the fucking deck. Yes, just like that. Perfect. How do you mind control so many ghosts at once? Isn't that kind of hard? Well, I do have a little help. John, did I mention my ancestor? She's the best. She is? I must admit, I was not in favor of the idea at first, but Vriska made a very strong case for using our combined powers in this way. In a perfect reality, no one would have to get hurt, but the stakes are too high to be shying away from such measures. See what I mean? The best. It has been wonderful spending so much time on this adventure with my descendant. Not just because it helped me get to know her better, but because it's opened my eyes to things about myself I was never really in touch with. There are certain capabilities within me I've never quite been able to face, and she's helped me realize that I've been hiding from them all my life, and well beyond. It must be true that what they used to say on my world, that if you really want to know who you are, take a look. Look to the legacy left behind by your ancestor. I think the wisdom works in both directions. Well, Pip Marquise, I've always felt the same way. Puke. On my hub, the Circuit twins Venus adore bubble again. Nitram, get your mop ready for swabbing up all this vomit coming out my mouth. You, no! You two stick a fork in the sentimental crap. Maybe pretend you ain't hit it off so good. You ever stop and think how this makes me feel? There's no reason to be jealous. You know nothing has changed about our friendship. Jealous? Bitch, no. Just makes me think about my kid descendant, how instead of having this cool frenzy relation with her, I just got this uncontrollable urge to stab her to death so she won't threaten my supremacy. Which is a shame because she's so cute. God damn my royal blood and the cray junk it makes me have to do. Ah well, maybe someday I'll find an heiress who my genes don't instinctively make me want to murder on sight. Then I can teach her the badass ways of being a boss and shit. God, trolls are so weird. John just said trolls are weird. He said it quietly, but I heard him. Hey, you snitch. Yeah, but aren't we? The moral of the story is Blue Kid is a dumb nerd, but is right when he says stuff. Look at that. It's like me and him are becoming fast fronds, thus lulling him into a false sense of confidence already. What? Soon, my little whale, soon. It is true. To a human, the ways of trolls from both Arternia and before us will seem very strange. In fact, prior to uniting the afterlife, even the two groups of trolls were reasonably alien to one another. I've had a great deal of time to study the cultures of many species throughout Paradox space. No matter which race you belong to, one can always find another whose ideals pose a challenge of comprehension to even the most open-minded. And though the ethical standards of those from Alternia may seem unpalatable to you, rest assured there are beings elsewhere in the cosmos whose violent behavior would be considered extreme even to most trolls. Actually, John, I'm very glad you brought this up, because I was in the middle of a wonderful story about this very subject, which you interrupted when you boarded our ship. Oh, sorry. No, that's fine. Really, I'm quite pleased that you did. This way, I get to start over from the beginning. There were some rough patches in my original telling, which I can go back and fix. This time it'll be much better. Okay, what's the story about? It's a tale about a very mysterious alien race called cherubs. Let us begin. Once upon a time, world building. There was a very mysterious alien race called cherubs. Arania, I thought you said you'd fix the shitty parts of the story. You started with that crappy line the first time, too. The opening line is fine. It's alright, I guess. Not. Now, shut up and let me tell my story. Now, where was I? There was a very mysterious alien race called cherubs? Right, there was a very mysterious alien race called cherubs. But there was one cherub in particular who, for at least the first half of our story, will be our heroine. She spent aeons roaming her galaxy completely alone, but the time had come for her to find a mate. This is no small task for a cherub, being an asocial species. They spend virtually no time in each other's presence at all. Aside from when it is time to mate, they may go their entire lives without encountering another, and so they scatter their numbers throughout space, each staking a territory spanning many light years, but like a predator that is able to track the scent of its prey. A cherub can sense the presence of another nearby. This sense is especially strong if that cherub shares the same qualities its other half once had long before it experienced the maturation process known as predomination. You see, when a young cherub hatches, it would appear that only one creature has begun its life. But the appearance is not to be trusted. The young cherub actually consists of two completely distinct beings, a male and a female, each sharing one body. The two halves are endowed with polar opposite predispositions as well. One predisposed towards malevolence, another towards benevolence, good or evil, if you prefer to deal in simplistic terms, or at least those which are convenient for the sake of this story. I prefer to view the dichotomy as a kind of moral alignment, like an attribute that dictates the choices a character makes in certain types of games I used to play. The male and female halves can be aligned either way, as long as they differ from each other. The resulting conflict between the two personalities is essential to the life of a cherub, both before and after predomination. Shortly after hatching, the two halves begin vacillating, taking turns controlling the body. The only physical differentiation between the two is coloration in their cheek swirls, which indicates alignment. There's otherwise no way to tell male and female apart before a cherub predominates. The vacillation process is demarcated by sleep. When the male goes to sleep, the female wakes up, and when the male wakes up, the female sleeps. And so it goes back and forth like this, as the two identities vie for dominance over the other, and ultimately permanent control of the body. They grow to detest one another and develop a view of social interaction centered entirely around an animosity and confrontation. For good cherubs, this readies them for a long life of isolation, as they will prefer to avoid the sort of conflict that comes with social interaction, as they have been conditioned to understand it. But for evil ones, the contentious upbringing only serves to fuel their inclination to harm others. And though this duality makes for a tormented childhood, the inner conflict it creates is an extremely important part of young cherub's life. The defining part, actually. It is the struggle a cherub must overcome to mature, and this process culminates in predomination. One half will prove to have a stronger will than the other. The less dominant half will then weaken over time, and it will eventually become clear to both that one will not survive. The dominant personality will then completely consume the other, integrating it in such a way that only one is left. The cheeks will become solidly colored, and the cherub will grow to maturity as a single being, endowed with the alignment of the dominant half, and with all his or her personal qualities as the forefront of the union. In the case of our heroine, she was the good half, and the day her predomination was in a sense the day her brother died. And though it was to her benefit and personal growth, because of his loss, she would always live with a sense that something was missing. Every sexually mature cherub lives with this feeling. It drives them to seek out another cherub similar to the half they lost, the part of their being which they grew up in perpetual conflict with. The desire to travel the universe in hopes of reigniting that conflict is very important to their species. It's the life force which compels them to procreate. So she set out to track his scent, as it were, and soon she found a physical trail as well, a path of carnage left behind by a particularly destructive male cherub. She followed the debris from civilized worlds and star systems he left behind, as if to mock her, to make it clear he knew of her pursuit, and was all but paving her way with the dead. His brutality made her more furious, thus setting the mood, so to speak, for their imminent courtship. A cherub of his alignment is seemingly motivated by little other than to conquer and destroy. From a bio-existential perspective, they behave somewhat like viruses attacking the system from within, but as with all symbiotic organisms living within a universe, there are balancing factors. While those inhibiting an evil cherub's territory will regard it as an unpredictable tyrant, those in the territory of a good cherub will likely come to view it as a protector, waiting quietly for millennia in deep space, ready to attack any encroaching threat. In that sense, they are not unlike cells in a universal immune system. The balance of forces allows stability, such that life and new civilizations can blossom and thrive within a universe, thus assuring the possibility of its own elaborate creation process. But if that balance was ever disturbed, it would lead to chaos in the biosystem. The universe could not survive for long. And if by some means a cherub with such destructive tendencies were to achieve unprecedented power, the resulting imbalance would be catastrophic for Paradox Space itself. And though the heroine of our story would have no way of knowing, this is exactly what would result from the pursuit of her kismesis. Like humans, cherubs perceive romance through only one quadrant. Unlike humans, their relationships are exclusively black. But their mating ritual is much more violent than any practice trolls would, or even physically could, engage in. And though it is critical to the perpetuation of their race, the confrontations can sometimes be lethal too. One or both cherubs. Regardless of the outcome, the stakes are always high. The winner of the duel will assume control of the other's territory, while the loser will slink away to bear the offspring. So as she toward the planetary wreckage, she knew her quest for a mate was not just about the propagation of her species, but the liberation of billions from a monster. She pursued him for many sweeps, with mounting obsession, until one day the trail came to an end at a black hole. Cherubs typically seek out black holes as the setting for their mating ritual, but not any black hole. Once long ago it was a star, and circling that star was a planet. The planet was home to one of the presently sparring cherubs. The male in this case returned to the site of his hatching to mate, a location now conspicuously occupied by a truly massive black hole. This is where she found him, and this is where they would duel. While an adult cherub is a formidable creature, is a fearsome creature and would be a formidable opponent to anyone, in its unaltered state, this is not the form in which they do battle with each other. The ritual is more extreme and physically demanding than any other kind of courtship or duel in the universe. The moment they meet, they will both undergo a dramatic metamorphosis. The mates will then duel as two vast, frightening serpents, each an astronomical unit in length. The tangled struggle between the green AUs is exceedingly brutal and can last for sweeps. While dueling in such a monstrous form, their energy is inexhaustible. The transformation taps into the cherub's lengthened connection with the enigmatic forces presiding over all that is eternal, and permeating all those endowed with immortality. Normally this power is only accessible to them during mating. In this form, they are only able to be injured by one another, and are otherwise indestructible. Hence the ritual can never be stopped by an outside force until it is complete. It should come as no surprise that in this story, our heroine was victorious. Upon defeating her mate, she initiated the interlocking formation to complete the coupling, while assuming the dominant position, a stance undetectable to all but the most astute observers of the zoologically dubious. Consequently, the male was fertilized with the young. He then slithered away in disgrace from the territory he'd lost. A cherub looking to nest will search for a dead planet situated near a massive dying star. The egg is deposited on the planet's surface. The rising temperature from the expanding red giant will incubate the egg until it is ready to hatch. Later in life, the cherub will grow wings, assuming it has matured properly, and if it has learned to fly well enough to reach a safe distance from the nest before the star goes supernova, soon the hungry cherub will return and feast on the resulting stellar energy. Doing so allows it to gain enough strength to travel great distances and claim its own territory. The star will then collapse into a black hole. serving as a distinct gravitational beacon to the cherub later in life, so it may return there to mate. As it happens, our heroine's mate had discovered Earth, long after it had journeyed to a new sun, and long since new civilizations had arisen and fallen. Now on the brink of destruction from its dying star, its barren accommodations were ideal for a young cherub. There he deposited his single egg and flew away, never to return. No cherub ever spawns more than one offspring at a time, for it is every cherub's destiny to grow up alone, or alone on the outside at least. From that egg hatched two very special cherub, with two names. One that few will ever know, and one that few will ever say. A fascinating thing about cherub reproduction is how the parent's alignment is passed on to the young. If the male lays the egg, the alignment of the child's two halves will be the same as the parent's. If the female lays the egg, the alignments will be flipped, and the young male and female will be endowed with the opposite alignments of their parents. As such, if the male half took after his father, perhaps the son exceeded him in violent tendencies. It is hard to imagine there has ever been a cherub more willfully destructive or as stubbornly dedicated to conquest than the monstrosity he would grow up to become. Due to his indomitable nature, I believe victory over his sister was a foregone conclusion. Barring a highly improbable glitch in causality, it would be almost impossible for her to predominate over someone like him. And even so, he didn't have the patience to wait. Unfortunately for everyone to ever exist, he discovered a way to predominate early. Yet it was not this act alone that would prove ominous, so much as the means through which it was achieved. He was allowed to become the sole player of a game which his kind was never meant to play. And so, it is with the predomination of her son that our heroine's story ends, and the story of our villains begins. Hey, Mina, where are you going? I'm taking a gaper break. God, but the story isn't over yet. Girl, your stories never end. Hey, bladder can't even deal. Just keep talking while I'm gone. No, that's okay, we can wait. I already heard the damn story, though. Not all of it. Glover, fuck, can't you just keep yapping about snake sex while I hit the little grub's room already? I'm afraid not. Everyone must listen to the full story. Oh my fucking god, you really are turning evil, aren't you? I would be proud except of how terrible and boring the actual consequences are for me personally. Wait, does that mean when you're a ghost you still have to pee? None of your business, Blue Kid. That's so weird. Am I the only one who thinks that's weird? No, John, it's definitely pretty weird that ghosts have to pee. You get used to life as a ghost pretty fast, though. But weren't you already used to pee when you were alive? Yeah, that's why you get used to it pretty fast, dummy. This is kind of a weird conversation. Can we hear more about the snakes and whatnot? It was pretty cool, a story. Yes, as soon as Mina returns from her visit to the load gaper. Holy mackerel, can you shitfucks just enjoy your space lizard horn while I take a fucking piss? I think we could all stand to take a brief intermission from the story regardless, to let all these intriguing facts about the cherubs sink in. Ah, you and your intermissions. What is with your intermissions? They ain't even intermissions most of the time. They're just an excuse to tell another dumb story inside a longer dumb story. Yes, Mina, you are correct, and your reservations are noted. However, would it change your mind if I were to propose not an intermission, but an interfission? Fine. Let's do an interfission thing, you said. Because of fish. You're B, Scrubs. Act 6, Intermission 5. Begin interfission. End of intermission. Anyway, where was I? The heroine's story ends and the villain's story begins, I think. Yes, that's right. It is with the predomination of her son that our heroine's story ends, and the story of our villain begins. But as we all know, beginnings are not always so easy to pinpoint in paradox space. One can say this story began the day he claimed immortality, or the moment his being was inexplicably confined to a juju, allowing him access to any realm in which his vessel would capriciously materialize. But for the sake of linearity, we may as well say his story began the day he and his sister hatched. When a cherub hatches, the two undeveloped personalities mingle together in the same body. There is not yet a clear division between the two. It will then consume the eggshell for the vital nutrients it contains. The sugary snack is irresistible to the starving wiggler. Once it finishes its first meal, the two personalities will be pulled apart for good, and the child will pupate. The two halves then begin vacillating with their sleep cycles, as I described. As you might expect, the female child was as cheerful and friendly as could be. She took after her mother in every way, at least the way her mother used to be, long before she was hardened by centuries of isolation and obsessive pursuit of justice. And to just as little surprise, the male child was an insufferable brat. It is just as well that cherub parents abandon their offspring. Raising such a child by the familiar standards of any race would be a monumental challenge. Nevertheless, it would seem there were those who tried. Details in my research suggest our villain had a number of acolytes operating in the shadows, preparing for his arrival. He'll probably never know who these scurrilous conspirators were, but it is evidence that at some point the cherub was locked in the room, either out of exasperation or for its own good, until it was old enough to enter the session. The children were left with everything a young cherub could ever want: meat, candy, computers, a lifetime supply of special stardust, and of course their precious jujus. The acolytes had clearly gone to great lengths to harvest such items from all over the cosmos, so they could lavish their young master with gifts. They may have been prisoners, yes, but if you ask me, these children were very spoiled. While the female was preparing for a collaborative approach to the game, the male was plotting furiously against her. He never had any intention of working with her. As far as he was concerned, the game was his and his alone to conquer. One day he put his plan into action. He had his sister's dream self assassinated on Prospect. The next time she went to sleep, she would never wake up again. When her brother woke up, he became the sole occupant of the body. He then freed himself from his chains and launched the session by himself. But this game was never meant to be played solo. Its format is inherently cooperative. The diversity of players, the combination of their efforts and aspects, this is what awakens the true creative potential of the game. Without time, a session will wither and die. If one enters alone, without them, a session will wither and die. If one enters alone, it completely alters the nature of the game. It changes its purpose. For a solo player, a challenging quest becomes an insurmountable one. A reward of infinite promise becomes a boon far more sinister. The gauntlet which the player must overcome is seemingly designed to be impossible. For all intents and purposes, it is not actually a game at all. It is a death sentence for any players foolish enough to accept the challenge. But it bears repeating, this was a very special cherub. He entered what is called a dead session. This qualifies as both a null and void session, but it is even less than either of those. Compared to his typical session, it is almost unrecognizable. Before the game begins, sky is blotted out with a dark layer of clouds. Its light is extinguished for good. There's no point waiting for the player in the medium. There is no planet waiting for the player in the medium. So instead, he brought it with him. But when he arrived, there was no heroic journey for him to embark on. There was nothing, no sprite, no consort, no underlings. The land had no name. Those things all needed to be unlocked. To unlock his true quest, he was forced to undergo a series of excruciatingly tedious trials. Only then would the way to the planet's core be revealed. There he would consult with the most monstrous denizen of all. And while such trials might discourage most players from even trying, our villain's response was quite the contrary. He was only emboldened by the mind of numbing chores. He took them with gusto, as if performing them out of spite. With perseverance, he found the final door and unlocked it. Waiting for him on the other side was a terrible creature named Yaldabaoth. His denizen would allow him a brief audience, one just long enough for him to make the choice. No denizen has ever been mistaken for pleasant company, but the self-proclaimed god of all monsters is notoriously inhospitable to his players. His choices are known for their wild extremes, and to this player, in this session, he offered the most extreme choice of all. It was a choice between a path of conquest and a path of sacrifice. And this is putting it lightly. In a tongue only his player could understand, he described what was the path of the martyr entailed. In short, it involved nothing. The player chooses to walk away from the temptation of power, to surrender all ambition and welcome death. In exchange for this pledge comes a promise. A player's sacrifice is assured to benefit all who will ever live. In death, the player would later be in the position to help bring an end to a force of unfathomable evil and destruction, a force which was unleashed, for the instance, by someone who opted for the other choice. Yaldabaoth then described what it meant to choose the path of the conqueror. It was a path for a more active player, to be sure. The player's mettle as a conquering force would be tested directly and repeatedly. One by one, he would have to conquer and destroy a number of planets spawned for him in the session. Each would be more difficult than the last. After destroying them all, his true land would become unlocked. He would then return to face his denizen again and defeat him in combat. If successful, his reward would be unprecedented. He would receive the boon of unconditional immortality, where resurrection would not be linked with just the heroic nature of death. It is unclear how this boon would be awarded, since to my knowledge it is beyond even the ability of a denizen to allow this. But through whatever mechanism the boon is bestowed, immortality is only the beginning. The player is somehow also imbued with a limitless supply of power, enough to destroy anything he wanted, for as long as he wanted. And knowing the villain of our story, anything he wanted would be everything. And as long as he wanted would be forever. Yes, knowing our villain, the choice he would make is quite clear. Knowing him, in fact, proves it could hardly be considered a choice at all. It was at this point the real game would begin. Sky would undergo a dramatic transformation, becoming darker and heavier. Soon it would become a very massive solid sphere. It would begin to generate heat within due to rising density. The surface would begin to crack. The resulting explosion is known as the first break. From the primordial blast would emerge 15 planets for the player to conquer. They would scatter and ricochet at high velocity before settling into orbit in the medium. The break is a very, very violent phenomenon, though. Not all planets will necessarily clear the blast before the sky and debris settles into its final state. The vast amounts of resulting matter then collapses into a black hole. Its gravitational pull is tremendous. Any object within range will be sucked in and destroyed. Those planets which settle into orbit will be safe for the time being. But in the case for our villain's session, 3 of the planets did not make it, and fell back into the hole. This was a very lucky break for him. It meant that he would instead only have to conquer 12 planets. This bit of good fortune could very well have been the difference between him, which allowed him to overcome the nearly impossible challenge. His task was to destroy all of the planets in order, each within a time allowance that gets shorter with every planet. To destroy a planet, first it must be conquered. He would have to overcome all forces of resistance on the planet, and ultimately defeat whatever powerful underling ruled there. Then, much like he did to unlock the quest in the first place, he would have to travel to the planet's core, where he would retrieve a bomb and return to the surface. If he did not accomplish this in time, the bomb would detonate in the core, and the game would be lost automatically. The bomb is not powerful enough to destroy the planet alone. In fact, its purpose is not to damage the planet at all, but to move it. So he must bring it to a designated location on the surface. When it explodes, the ball will be knocked out of orbit and sucked into the hole. Of course, he must make sure he has moved on to the next planet before this happens. He repeats the process for each planet until they're all gone. There's one caveat, though. He must skip the 8th planet. If he sinks that one before any of the others, it will result in the destruction of his entire session. Thus, it must be the final planet he conquers. Upon destroying the 8th planet, his true land will reveal itself. The dead planet will come to life, and there he must prepare for a battle with his denizen. He may sharpen his combat skills, craft new weaponry, anything he can do to improve his chances against a very powerful endgame foe. Fortunately for him, he would not have to face the monster alone. By then, he will have accumulated a party of loyal minions. With each planet he destroys, he will be awarded a new leprechaun follower. Even if a planet was destroyed in the break, he will still be awarded that planet's leprechaun upon destroying the planet preceding it. Sort of like a 2-for-1 deal. Wait, leprechauns? Yes, John. I'm delighted to see you've pounced on what is clearly the most interesting part of the story so far. Leprechauns are a fascinating mythical race, although there is some dispute among scholars as to whether they are actually a breed of gnome. I can't say I blame you for being speechless. There are no doubt hundreds of questions swirling in your head at once about these wonderful creatures. Where do I even begin? You must forgive me. I find it very difficult to resist going on at length about them. I just think they're so great. For instance, I can and have given lectures for weeks on a time about their marvelous and widely varying magical abilities. More intriguing yet may be any medium to long-form harangue on the topic of their culture and customs, most of which revolve around luck. But most captivating of all, and the subject upon which I will now assiduously expound, would be the positively scintillating subject of leprechaun romance. Oh, wow. The problem is that when the subject of leprechaun romance is broached, our overly obsessive troll intellects instantly assume the most ingratiating posture of admiration imaginable. which makes it hard to give it a proper academic focus because of how great it is. We'll do our best to understand regardless. Trolls only have 4 forms of romance, and though we consider it a complicated subject, spanning a wide range of emotions, social conventions, and implications for our reproduction, it is ultimately a superficial slice of what leprechauns consider the full body of romantic experience. Our concept of romance, in spite of its capacity to fill our art and literature, and to rule our individual destinies like little else, is still just that, a single quaternary concept. A concept usually denoted by 4 symbols. Leprechaun romance is more complicated than that. Leprechaun romance has 9 symbols. The 9 quadrants of leprechaun romance are considerably more nuanced than our quaint notions of romance, and certainly more alien. In fact, so conditioned is my own understanding of romance that I can't help refer to them as quadrants, when in fact they're not quadrants at all. They're referred to as charms. One of the charms is characterized by romantic love, as both understand by trolls and humans. But after that, all bets are off. There's no division between black and red, unconditioned or conciliatory. Instead, their charms combine in a spectral continuum of more subtly varying types of relationships, most of which are established in mutual chicanery, such as the exchange of pranks, coy riddles, slapstick shenanigans, and games of chance. Furthermore, a player of leprechauns is not limited to a single charm. A relationship may be defined by multiple charms at once. In fact, some of the most interesting relationships arise from exotic charm combinations. A stable relationship consisting of 3 or more charms is called a trove. These advanced relationships are often viewed as the ideal end result for a romance, much the way certain pairing rituals are for humans. No charm is specifically tied to procreation, though any type of relationship could begin waxing efficient if Lady Luck should so decide. Certain charm combinations are known to be more conducive to fertility than others. If the leprechaun pair has been so blessed, they'll begin an elaborate coupling procedure, culminating in a lively mating jig. These jigs are specific to the charms, of course, similar to how different kinds of music lead themselves to various styles of dance. While their romance is endlessly captivating, leprechaun reproduction may be the most interesting subject of all, particularly from a perspective of detailed anatomical study, which I'll get to shortly, but first, it bears pointing out that while for humans reproductive relationships are exclusively heterosexual, and for trolls they are bisexuals, for leprechauns wow, what a story. But wasn't that story great, everyone? Wow. You really liked it that much, Vriska? Hell yeah. Oh my god, the leprechaun stuff's so good, right guys? Wow, well, I would be happy to continue then, if you... Mind Fang, have I told you how great it's been getting to know each other and team up on adventures and stuff? I really feel like you've helped me to get in touch with my ancestral roots, mainly as a kick-ass storyteller. It was like this whole part of my personality I was just never aware of, like the part that's compelled to just outright explain tons of interesting things to people, while sparing no detail whatsoever. It's made me feel a lot closer to understanding my aspect as well as closer to you, so I just wanted to say thanks. Aw, you're welcome. I feel the exact same way about my time with you. You really helped me get in touch with the true pirate within. I saw in you the adventurous spirit I always wished I could be. You helped me finally understand the virtue in rationalizing questionable decisions and behaving unscrupulously for the greater good. Ha, stop. You're gonna make me start tearing up. Get over here and give me a hug, Alpha Sister. Who? You know, Vriska's ancestor, the friendly one who tells long stories. Oh yeah, her. I don't know, I can't keep all these ghost names straight. Flip Tuna, Meowlin. Wasn't there a Carlos? They were all named Carlos as far as I'm concerned. Except for Mina, she was alright, a little forward, but whatever, this isn't the point. All I remember about my interactions with the Circat girl was getting cornered into this ludicrous monologues, then racking my brain for excuses to get the hell out of there. Yeah, well, I was a little more tactful than you and actually listened, and let her talk me into something I shouldn't have. So she was just like, poof, and suddenly your eyes were better? Yes. What is she, some sort of magic fairy? Yes? That's kind of literally what she is. Oh, alright, I guess her story checks out, then. Good for her, but this doesn't seem like you. I mean, I didn't think you even wanted your eyesight back. I've never met anyone as chuffed about her own disability as you. Like, I was always under the impression that you felt like it was a big part of who you are. It was! The moment she healed me, I knew I made a terrible mistake, but I couldn't take it back. I thought about it, just blinding myself again and pretending it never happened, but even the way it happened originally was something special to me. I can't duplicate that, and even if I could, it still wouldn't be the same. I can't seem to forgive myself for being so stupid. For some reason, I thought it was a good idea to take the only cool and unique thing about myself and fix it. What was I thinking? Whoa, the only cool thing about you, Terezi? I want to be understanding, but I can't get behind some of the shit you're saying about yourself here. What made you start unraveling like this? I think it was when we started meeting our ancestors. I thought they were all cooler and older and more interesting than us, even though they probably weren't. They had a lot of problems and insecurities too, but I guess the kind that older kids have, and when you're younger you don't really recognize them as problems. You look at those things as just part of what it's like being someone who's more interesting and grown up than you. Maybe since I'm not as young anymore, I guess I can see that now. But I was stupidly awestruck by some people who were not so impressive in retrospect, and I made a dumb mistake. Wait, we met all these people, kind of a long time ago. How long have you been hiding this from everyone? I don't know, a year or something? And I wasn't hiding it, I just didn't want to tell anyone. Yeah, that's what hiding means. But you usually can't see my eyes anyway, because of my glasses, duh. I know, but not telling anybody that is still being pointlessly secretive. You could have said, hey, Carcat, I fucked up and now I can see again. Maybe we can talk about this so I don't go into a tragic downward spiral and make you worry about me for no reason. I'm sorry, I should have, but I was so ashamed. And what about the clandestine Black Rom nonsense you've got going on with Gamzee? What? Have you been dating him for just as long? Was he involved in that decision? Did he help talk you into healing your eyes or something? How did you know we were dating? Did he tell you? Oh my god, Trezzy, you're a fucking catastrophe. You used to be cunning and considerably more intelligent than me, which I have no problem admitting. But this is ridiculous. Even if I didn't figure this out myself, which I did, because it was obvious, you're up here on the roof lying unconscious in a pile of honk horns and Fago bottles. I am not a master of deduction, but unless you were recently stomped on by some sort of golem composed of gollage from a circus, it seems fair to say you're officially down with the clown. Okay, yes, it's true. Well, what do you have to say about it? I couldn't get up the nerve to tell you about that either. In a way, I'm even more disgusted with myself for dating that asshole than I am for healing my eyes. Then why are you doing it? I don't know. I can't bring myself to stop seeing him. Every time I think I can't stomach the sight of his ugly face for another second, he pulls me back in. He's just so awful. He always knows exactly what to say to piss me off. Everything he does, his fake god-tier suit, his smug expression, the dumbass way he butchers his sentences, saying shit like all getting up at his motherfucking honk on. I hate it so much, but I keep coming back for more. He's like a drug, even more addictive than this revolting soda I can't stop drinking. I've had so much fig, I can't even taste the color anymore. I just taste the sugar and the bubbles and the awful flavor it leaves behind, which just makes me drink more to wash it away until I feel so nasty I have to take a long soda nap, but I wake up loathing myself even more. So I just reach for another bottle. It is truly a wicked elixir. Terezi, I want him to be out of my life. He's the worst thing that's ever happened to me, but I guess you can't help who you hate. This is killing me hearing this. I seriously want to weep actual puke out of my eyeballs from this story. How did this happen? I've got to say, I didn't see it coming. If you told me sweeps ago, you and he, I wouldn't believe it. Like if the writing was on the wall there, I sure as fuck didn't read it. Yeah, it snuck up on me. It didn't help that he terrorized us when we were hiding from Jack. Right under my nose, too. Somehow I didn't put the pieces together at the time and let him get away with murder. And gradually I started having these uncontrollable thoughts about him, dark thoughts, and when I would catch a whiff of him in the corridors, like he was taunting me, it just fanned the flames, and then we started talking shit with each other more and more, and he was so much nastier than he ever used to be. Way more than any of our friends ever were. One time he started mocking my blindness, which never bothered me when anyone else did it, but somehow the stuff he said, I let it get under my skin, and combined with meeting a lot of new people I felt like I couldn't live up to, that's when I started reconsidering Irania's offer. I knew it. I knew he must have had something to do with that decision. That slimy bastard. This is mostly my fault. I wasn't vigilant enough with him, and I let our allegiance break down. If I kept a closer eye on him, maybe he wouldn't have lured you into his spinning tent of shit. No, you shouldn't feel like that. Or maybe it's Kanaya's fault. She's always been a really good auspicious. Maybe she could have prevented this if she wasn't so preoccupied herself. No, wait, it's actually my fault again. If I had on the ball and auspicized myself and auspicized between her and Rose, she would have had the time to auspicize between you and Gamzee. Damn it, I always say I know so much about romance, yet I routinely underestimate its complexity, so I only figure out what to do after it's way too late. God, I'm so stupid. Ah, shut up. It's no one's fault but mine. I'm the one who has to deal with it. Yeah, okay. For what it's worth, he'll probably just break it off and leave you once we get to the new session. All his loyalties and priorities are totally warped now. I'm not sure what he really cares about anymore, but it sure isn't any of us. You think he'll leave me? Yeah, I do. Whoa, what? Isn't that what you want? No, I'd be devastated if he just suddenly ditched me like that. Okay, help me out. You're confusing me here. I'd feel pathetic, and I guess a sick and terrible part of me doesn't want him to go. But if he does, he just want it to be because I tell him it's over. Wow, alright, I guess that makes sense. Sorry, I'm just trying to be supportive here. But I'm not always sure what the right thing to say is. I'm doing my fucking best. This is complicated for me too. You're both my friends. I know, I appreciate your intentions, Carcat. Maybe it would be better if you weren't hitting up there in that backwards chair while you talk to me. What? Why? Yeah, dude, you should probably chitch the chair. What the fuck is wrong with my chair? Or at least sit on it front ways, or offer her another chair? I don't know, it's kind of a dumb affectation in this context. No, look, it's casual and relaxed. Like it visually conveys that my presence in the conversation is humble and non-threatening, yet frank and attentive. What the fuck do you want from me? To sit on the goddamn floor. Why should I squat on the dirty floor? What difference does it make? So you can be on the same vertical plane with your friend while you exhibit compassion for her grody clown problem. Dave, it's fine. Never mind about the chair. I don't care. It just struck me as a bit distractingly silly, that's all. Okay, wow, fine. Fuck the chair. Pardon me for making myself comfortable during a sincere heart-to-heart discussion with a dear friend in need. But the time has come for me to cease rattling this deeply offensive piece of furniture. Away with ye four-legged temptress. Distract us no more with the most basic and utilitarian form of creature comfort you supply. Carcat just threw a tantrum about a chair. I just won Carcat tantrum bingo. At last, we're free from the accursed instrument of ass elevation. Where'd you even get that chair? Did you steal it from the common area? Unlike everyone else ever, I happen to make a practice of cataloging items which might be convenient to it on a day-to-day basis. Say I'm strolling around and find myself in need of a place to sit. Bam! Suddenly a chair. And no, I didn't steal it. How could I steal something from the common area? Nobody actually owns any of that fucking furniture. That's why it's called the common area, you accusatory piece of filth. Sounds like communism. Are you communist or something? Actually, that makes perfect sense, what with your sickle and all. What are you talking about? Wait, John has a hammer. Oh shit, it's all adding up. When we arrive, you're going to team up with John to seize the means of production. You appear to be jump-starting a facetious discussion about some sort of human economic ideological framework, without having the slightest clue that your vehicle is parked squarely in the nobody gives a fuck zone. I'm just saying. First chairs, what next? See, I'm all about private property and pocketing dough. Do you have any idea how rich I am? I am a man of means, motherfucker. What is your point? Just don't come after my boonies, dude. Or should I say Carcat Marks? You're being serious now. Those are not the words of a serious person. I was having a serious discussion like a big-time adult with my good friend Terezi. Your callous and nonsensical remarks are derailing us from the delicate subject at hand. Why don't you just be useful and say something reassuring to our sad mutual buddy? You wailing jet engine of infantiles. Stultiloquence? I don't have much to say about this. I kinda got to recuse myself on the matter. I'm all kinds of on record as being squicked out by the idea of hate relationships, so I got no point of reference for gauging when one is fucked up the way that's normal for trolls, and if it's fucked up because it's actually fucked up and terrible. This is like some ex-alien boyfriend prime directive shit. I can't intervene because I don't know what I'm talking about. But you do, so I guess keep going. You were saying some pretty good stuff before I started writing your joke about chairs. Terezi, do you see what I have to deal with? Actually, I guess you can. You can now literally see what I have to deal with. And experience all due empathy for the fact that I have a douche as a best friend. Yes, I can see. The view from here is douche-tacular. Thank you. So that's it then. No advice at all, smart aleck? Why did I even bring you here for the intermission then? Intermission? Intervention, I meant. Sorry, I misspoke. It's not an intervention either. My ghostly head's all beaming out this crab for moral support, yo. I'm in my homie's corner, even if he is a massive socialist. Terezi, I think, can probably figure this out. She grew up alone and blind in a forest. I think she'll manage to bounce out of her juggalo phase. But yeah, Terezi, you should at least quit the fucking soda. Yeah, okay. Okay? Yes, I'll stop. What, just like that? Sure, it's really gross. I think we're missing the point here. This isn't just about an unhealthy obsession with a foul soft drink. It's about how you feel about yourself. You're barely functional right now. You can't even pick yourself up off the floor to put on a pair of pants. Remember pants, Terezi? You used to love pants. Yeah, pants are pretty great. You used to be a lot of things, and all those things were good things, but now we're about to arrive, right when we need you the most. You do a sensational belly flop into a circus vat of your own tangy slobber. Oh, please, what could you possibly need me for? You're an important member of this party. We'll need you to help stand up to Jack and whatever else is waiting for us there. I don't think they'll be very useful. Well, not like this, you won't. You've got to get your act together. No, I mean, even then I won't be. I don't have much to offer, even on my best day. What about your mind powers, though? What if we need somebody with mind powers to do some sort of mindy thing? What mind powers? You know, the ones where you flip a coin and some thing crazy happens? Okay, I don't actually know how it works, but what about that? I never developed those powers very well, and it's been a very long time since I even thought about them. I don't think they're very valuable, honestly. In fact, all they ever seemed to do was trick me into feeling like I knew what I was doing. They actually made me believe I was in control of other people's fates. Not even to speak of my own. It was a really dangerous kind of delusion. And now it feels like the only heroic thing I ever did with those powers was use them to justify killing my friend. Huh? Oh, right. And what's worse is, to this day, I'm still not even totally sure if it was necessary. I think I've lost the ability to tell if I'm being punished for what I did or if I'm punishing myself. Well, yeah, of course it was necessary, even if it wasn't the morally right choice or whatever. It was obviously something that had to happen. And the cruel thing about Paradox Space is it systemically validates all your mistakes as necessary outcomes. Not even necessary for your own good or personal growth. It's always bigger than you. Like your errors in judgment are inseparable from the way reality has to unfold. So it never lets you forget about them because they were all critical to the big picture. And all your past flaws are like scars. Scars in space-time that never heal. And always serve to remind you that the perfect version of yourself you wish to be can never exist because the survival of everyone you care about depends on him not existing. I know all that. It doesn't stop me from wondering. It's simple. If you hadn't killed her, you would have withered away in a doomed timeline. Yeah, and sometimes I wish I had. At this point, I think I would rather be this better person who made the right decision, even if it also meant being the one who to fade away forever. Well, I wouldn't want that. Does that fucking matter to you? Does that factor anywhere into your existential equation? You probably think I'm crazy, just as crazy as you think I am for dating Gamzee. But I really miss her. No, I don't think you're crazy for that. And yet, if I ever saw her again, there's no way I could talk to her. So part of me hopes I never... Ow! Hey, you dick! What, don't blame me. I can't control the crab. Act 6, Intermission 5, Intermission 3. Cool. I think I'm gonna end it here. Yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone who did. Happy New Year's. It is 2022. Fuck that.